talk to Gage.
Alright, today we're going to be looking at my entire physical media collection. Now I know what you're thinking. Gage, you got new glasses. What are those? Yes, I did indeed get new glasses, and I will talk about that in a second, because it actually does correspond to something in here. But I decided we're going to make this video to be like a whole thing. Thought this would be fun. You know, I've always wanted to do like a physical media collection video. And I thought that would be fun for quite a while. I just never done it. So we're gonna do it. Gabriel is behind the camera with me today. He's playing 3DS, so he's hanging out with us. That's basically the gist here. But yeah, we're gonna go over everything. You can kind of see everything, just like a overhead angle of everything I got right here. But we are also gonna check out some of my other things as well, not just what's on this shelf. But this is the bulk of my collection right here. So I figured we would go through this in order of consoles and, you know, like film categories, things like that. So why don't we just get right into it? And by the way, I am doing this largely as a way to kind of look back on everything, and you know, in the future I'm like I get to rewatch this video and be like, oh man, I remember like that was what, you know, my collection looked like, you know, like those were my Switch games, and you know, like what, and when we talk about specific ones, like what my brief thoughts were on everything. So this is meant to be like an all-encompassing video, so it's gonna end up being pretty long, but it's just a way to sort of like document the collection, put it out there. So, you know, people can watch it and see what I got, and so I can look back on it fondly in the future. So with that being said, let's just get into it. Let's just dive right in. We're going to start with the Switch collection. This grew quite a bit recently. We're just going to start from left to right. I will point out that the way I organize my Switch games is based on the publisher, not necessarily the developers in every case, but pretty much publisher and developers. Because on the side, the spine of Switch games, they're all pretty uniform. They look the same. It's hard to tell what any of these are just from looking at it. You have to really look closely and read what the title is. But in the bottom here on Switch games, they all have like the publisher who published the game, and that's pretty much how I organize my Switch games. But anyways, starting out from the left, this is the Nintendo section, obviously. We have Smash Brothers Ultimate. What is there to be said about this game? Like, this is in me and Gabriel's top 10 favorite games of all time. It's just the best fighting game we've ever played. We play this game all the time to this very day. And technically, we played on our brother Gavin's copy. Y'all know him from like the All 4 podcasts and different videos on this channel.
The 4 people that watch the podcast.
Hey, we got 30 views on Gavin's ranking. We used his copy for a long time of Smash, but I randomly was in Walmart one day, and this was after he had moved out of our house like a couple years back, and I was like, I'm gonna buy that. I need it. So yeah, Smash Ultimate, first one on the collection. Super Mario Odyssey. Sometimes I forget I own this because I bought it for $10 off of Gunner, which is another one of our brothers, and I've already finished it. I finished it when I played Gavin's copy, so I really haven't played this copy per se, but I thought it was a great game. Not my favorite Mario 3D platformer, but it's good. I do like this one quite a bit. Speaking of Mario games, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is the best Mario game on Switch in my opinion, because it's 3 games in 1. And these are the best ones. Super Mario Sunshine was that was what sold me on this, because I wanted to play Sunshine so bad a couple years back, and it came at the perfect time to replay it. I'm still distrustful of Nintendo for making this a limited release, but obviously I was going to get it, so I'm very happy I owned this. I have to keep it safe though. Next up is Yoshi's Crafted World. Unfortunately, the Yoshi games nowadays are very like kid-friendly. I mean, they've always been kid-friendly, but in the sense that like
Get the original rated M version.
Yeah, I need that original rated M. Yeah, I'm like freaking NSO. It's like rated M for like all this crazy stuff. It's like, what? It's random. I think it's a glitch. It's not real. But anyways, they just became more easy, more just like targeted at a especially younger audience. But I still like all the Yoshi games. You know, I like to pick up all the new ones whenever they come out. Yoshi's Island's like in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It was like my original gaming memory. It's just a classic, and I 100%ed this game, and honestly, I think that's the best way to play it, because otherwise it's just really short and not very memorable, but I had a blast playing this, again, especially if you 100% the whole thing, which I do recommend, if you do play it. Next up, DKC Tropical Freeze. This is a good game. It's 2D platformer. A lot of people on YouTube say this is like the best 2D platformer of all time. I've never quite understood that, but I can't necessarily say otherwise. You know, like I'm sort of like, I'm kind of a fan of 2D platformers. It just depends. It depends on what it is. You know, I prefer more of like a 2D action adventure type game, like a Metroid as an example. But I like this game quite a bit. You know, I'll take a really good 2D platformer from time to time, and I thought this one was a good time. It's pretty good. Oh boy, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I got this like earlier this year, and I put a ton of time into it. I like this game significantly more than Breath of the Wild. There was a lot of things about Breath of the Wild that didn't really connect or click with me as much as I would like them to. Even though when I first played it, it was definitely a very magical experience, but I just feel like the improvements, the changes that they made in this sequel, just, in my opinion, make it the better game. If you play Breath of the Wild to death, this one's probably not going to reinvent the wheel for you too much, outside of some of the abilities. But I had so much fun playing this game, man. Like, this is one of my favorites, honestly, in the Switch collection. And I'm not even a crazy Zelda, like, I'm not a huge Zelda guy. I like Ocarina of Time a lot, and, you know, I like these ones. I like Tears of the Kingdom quite a bit. Next up, we are in the Pokemon section. First up, Pokemon Shield. This is the only PAL release, I think, in my Switch collection. You know it's PAL if it has this little green triangle thing on the side, and if the text is more in the center versus being kind of like up top, from top down, versus being right in the center with this one. That's one way to pick up its PAL. I mean, it also says the Peggy logo, but that's just the differences with it. But Pokemon Shield, it was good. I enjoy Pokemon Shield. I think it was very disappointing when it first came out for being like the big first party, like core Pokemon game on the new console. It was a little disappointing for sure, but not gonna lie, I think I played this Pokemon game the most out of any Pokemon game on Switch that I've played. And I had some great memories. It was the first time I ever caught my shiny Quagsire, and that was one of my favorite, honestly, like Switch memories just overall. So I like Shield, but definitely was really disappointing when it came out. But I think with hindsight now, the game does look a lot better, like graphically, than some of the other Pokemon games, such as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I got Violet, Gabriel got Scarlet, we played it together, and I'm sorry guys, it was fun. Like, it was such a fun game to play. Ridiculous how the quality's just not there, but I liked Violet a lot, made some good memories. We did shiny hunts together, caught a bunch of shinies, and it was good. Like, I know it's inexcusable that game is in the condition it's in, but I had a lot of fun with it. Like, it was just a good time. It was a good time, Gabe, right?
Yeah.
It was a good time. I had fun. It was fun. A Pokemon game that was not a lot of fun. Why do I own you?
Bro, I don't understand. How did I put 100 hours in that game?
That is unhinged. This game is...
It's the worst one.
I will go on record saying I think Gen 4 is the worst gen in any Pokemon game.
Them comments could be saucy.
Enough said. But I will say Carnivine is like one of the best Pokemon designs ever. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
It's mid.
One of the best games on Switch. This is in my top 3 most played Switch games. It's actually second below Smash Bros. Smash is at like 700, 800 hours. This is at like 300, 400 kind of range. I put a crap ton of hours into this. I was there at launch. It was like March 20th, I think, of 2020. It was like a week and some change after the pandemic started. And it was actually funny because me and Gavin, we went to a further away town to pick this up. We had to go to a different GameStop because he actually pre-ordered his copy of Doom Eternal from the wrong store. So we drove like an hour away to get Doom Eternal, and while I was there, I just asked if they had any sealed copies of Animal Crossing New Horizons, because those two games launched at the same time, the same day, and I picked it up the same time we got Doom Eternal. So while he was playing Doom Eternal, I was playing Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch. Great memories. That's definitely one of my favorite Switch games. Had so much fun with it. Another one, this game, guys. This is the game on Switch to end all Switch games. Guys, look. Look. Metroid Dread.
Yes, that's
Metroid Dread, guys. Thanks for the tips, Gabe. This game, it took it was like 15, like 17 years, it was something stupid like that. It took a crap ton of time for this to come out. But when it finally did, man, like, that reveal, it was like Metroid 5, and it was at that Direct, blew my mind. I was so excited, and especially knowing that it was Mercury Steam, the same people who made Samus Returns on 3DS. Don't look at it, we'll get to that. It was so hype. Like, I was so excited. And this is a game where, look, I know it's short. I beat it like 8 hours on my first playthrough, and then later I speed ran it because I wanted to 100% it, which I did do, and I beat it in like 3 hours because you have to speed run it to do that. But just because it's short does not mean this game is not worth every dollar you put into it. This is just, to me, this is my favorite Metroidvania, probably of all time, but it's also my favorite Metroid game, just period, 3D and 2D. This one is just far and away, I think, the best one in the series. It is amazing. But we also got Metroid Prime Remastered. I got this one this year, just a couple months ago, and I sat down, played it, beat it in like 13 hours, and I played this. I played it on the Wii. I played the Wii version, and that was great. I liked that. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, I made my memories there. I was doubtful if I would get this because I was like, I don't know, I've already beat it. It wasn't that long ago. But they really did remake this game. Like, they did so much to the visuals and everything. It just looked so much better. And it really was the best way to play it. Playing it with like twin stick controls, honestly, it was a game changer for me. Really just made the game so much better in my eyes. Randomly, my copy has like this crack. I don't know if you can see it. Garen, can you like see that on camera?
Actually, I think you can a little bit.
Kind of a little bit.
It's
basically, there's a crack right here. And I don't know why it's there, but it makes me sad. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, the only Pikmin game on Switch I have currently. I keep telling myself I'm going to get 1 and 2, and watch, I'm going to end up missing that. It's going to be like super expensive one day. But Pikmin 3 is great. I thought it was a lot of fun. Maybe it's a little too easy compared to like the other Pikmin games. I think Pikmin works best when it's a little more tense, a little more of a challenge put in there with like the time limit and stuff. I don't know, I kind of like that in Pikmin. Pikmin 3, it was just really easy, but it was a lot of fun. I really like that game a lot. I also, this might be controversial, but in Pikmin 3, I also don't like 3 characters. I feel like that's too many characters to be like balancing and juggling between everything. But that's maybe just a me thing. There's definitely moments where it shines, but I don't know. I like it just being me, isolated on a planet with the Pikmin. I like that. Anyways, next up, we're gonna pull all of these ones at the same time. We have the Xenoblade series, all 3.5, all 3.5. Technically, it's the trilogy, and I want to note this. This one combined with this one makes that one. See, it was cool because in 3, they basically took the Mechonis sword from 1, put it there, and then they took the Leviathan in 2 and put it there. Genius. Brilliant. This is one of my favorite memories on Switch. This is one of my favorite series on Switch. It's so weird because Xenoblade is like, and Monolith Soft is so like not a Nintendo type company, you know, like they really don't have the same design philosophies that Nintendo, I feel like, typically has in their games. This is more in line with like a Square Enix or something like that. But man, these games are just so amazing. If I had to pick a favorite, it would easily be the first one. I think the Definitive Edition remake is just the complete package. These two had like substantial DLC to like fill in the gaps with their stories. Xenoblade 1 didn't need that to tell its story, and I do think that is something to be said about it. I will say though, my thoughts on 2 have definitely chilled out over time. I made that video a while back where I was kind of critical of it. I want to replay it because I recently played Torna. As of like literally yesterday, I finished it, and I thought it was amazing. It was like a short, condensed version of Xenoblade, and it's literally a DLC put into a physical cartridge, and that's awesome. I really like that. I wish more games had stuff like that, and more DLCs did that. But 2's good. I think 2's good, and I even really like 3. I just thought 3's ending didn't make any sense, at least the first time I played it. Maybe if I revisit it, I'll change my mind. But overall, it's a fantastic series, and honestly, you can get lost. If you get all these games, man, it'll be worth it, man. Like, even if you don't want to spend like hundreds of hours in any one of them, you can easily just hop in, you know, play for 30 hours, and you know, like beeline to the you know, main story. And not you know, side quests aren't always super important. I think the first one's mainly just busy work and side quests. It's the best type of busy work. But you know, you can, there's something there for everybody, is what I'm trying to say. You can enjoy it no matter what, I feel like. There's options. Anyways, next up is Advance Wars. This is awesome. This game is freaking amazing. I don't think this was in the last video game pickups video I did. To sum it up, let me just say, I thought this was not going to be worth $60. I got it for $50, so I got a little bit of a discount, but this game has so much value in it. So much, I hate saying like so much content, but like it really does have so much you can do in it, man. Like there's a map builder in here, and it's way better than like the Fire Emblem map builder from N-Gage. Way better than that. And honestly, this has got to be one of my favorite Switch games. Like, as weird as that is, it's probably top 10, just because like I haven't played the second story, the second campaign, but I did finish the first one. I thought it was great. It's a lot of fun. But dude, I feel like there's so much potential with this game. With that map builder, man, just how flexible it is, how much you can do with it. I'm like, dude, this game rocks. I am honestly way surprised how much I like this. So Advance Wars, if you like strategy games, and you know, this isn't an RPG, it's just a strategy game, and you like those, you gotta play this one. It's so good. I know the visuals, the visual style, the toy-like stuff is like kind of I'm not totally bought into it either, but the game's awesome, and it's honestly like pretty challenging too. So great game. I like it. Final 2. These are actually Final 3. I lied. Final 3 in the Nintendo published section. All 3 of these were actually not developed by Nintendo, but were instead developed by Square Enix. And that's Triangle Strategy. That one's amazing. Bravely Default 2. Haven't played it yet, but I did recently get that, and I'm pretty excited to try it. And then Dragon Quest 11. I'm not lying. It was published by Nintendo, which is weird. All 3 of these games, they're Square Enix developed, Nintendo published, and I've heard mixed things on Bravely Default too. But Triangle Strategy I finished. I've finished this twice now. This game is awesome. This is absolutely probably my favorite non-Fire Emblem strategy RPG. I think that's true. Yeah, like this game is awesome. I really like Triangle Strategy quite a bit. So fun. Bravely Default 2, like I said, I haven't played it yet. I'm excited to try it. I think the visual style looks a little weird, but it was really cheap for what I got it for. And I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be worth a lot one day. So I figured I should get it now instead of like getting it later and spending way more. So, because I want to try it. Dragon Quest 11, I'm going to be the first person on YouTube to say this. I think it's overrated. I think Dragon Quest 11 is good. I like it. A lot about it, it's very quality. I don't like the music. I don't think a lot of the music tracks are are good, at least good in the context of this game. I think the battle music blows. I actually think it's pretty bad based on battle music I've heard from other JRPGs. Freaking Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE has better battle music than this. That battle music actually rocks. If you ever heard that one, go look it up. It's very good. But Dragon Quest, you know, I like it as sort of like a beginner, sort of like more approachable, you know, RPG. You know, I feel like younger people, not to say like this game definitely does have challenge. Like, I'm not saying it's like super easy, but like some of the stuff with the story is very like tropey, you know, kind of basic surface level in a lot of ways, not super deep or complex or dark. And, you know, I feel like there is definitely a massive audience for this game. I get why it's so big, but I also know my opinions are probably going to get me canceled from ever talking about Dragon Quest ever again. I also did not finish Dragon Quest XI, but I did play a lot of it, and I had fun. I had fun with it. I think it's a good game. Anyways, so that's the end of the Nintendo section of the published games. I'm just going to scoot that over for a second. We have 2 Square Enix ones right here. Those being Nier Automata on Switch and Neo The World Ends With You. I've not played that yet, so I have nothing to say other than it looks really cool. But Nier Automata, I have played, and it is a masterpiece. I think it's one of the best games, just period. The story was fantastic. It was really philosophical and probably the best AI story I've ever experienced. You gotta play this one. If you like action RPGs at all, you gotta play this one. I don't want to say anything else. You just gotta play it. It's so worth it. And I beat it in like 30 hours. You really have to beat it like 3 times, then you can kind of just like use a chapter, just select to finish the rest of it. So yeah, pretty easy to get into, I think. Next one's up actually is the Atlas selection. So funny thing is that Atlas sort of became like my favorite studio, like almost ever in this past generation, because I discovered them through Persona 5, and I made it my goal to collect at least every American released Atlas published title. And I think I'm pretty close, that at least everything has a physical. I might be missing like 1 or 2, but let's go ahead and go through these. First up is the Vanillaware games. We have Unicorn Overlord, and then we have 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. That's a goofy name, but it's also a really good game. These 2 are both amazing for different reasons. I think Unicorn Overlord has the better gameplay and is quite amazing. I haven't finished it, put like 20 some hours into it, and I just really was dying to play Torna, so I played through Torna and took a break from it. But 13 Sentinels, about 30 hours long. I finished it. Honestly, it was an amazing story. I think it could have been a little shorter, it would have been a little better, but honestly, it's an amazing game. It really blew my mind, the sci-fi story they were telling with it, and it has so many twists and turns with the plot. It gets a little convoluted towards the end especially, but overall it is just a complex story, complex narrative that honestly makes it a masterpiece. Like, no one else has told a story quite like this in gaming, I feel like. So it's one of a kind. I definitely recommend it. So those are published, because those 2 are both Vanillaware games, and Atlas published them. Now we have the Atlas developed games. Starting out with Catherine Full Body. I never thought I would play this, but holy crap. This game is so good. This is also where Katsura Hashino cemented himself as my favorite video game director of all time. This is the man who directed Makken X on the Dreamcast. He also directed SMT3 Nocturne, and then he directed Persona 3, 4, and 5, Catherine, and then now he's directing Metaphor ReFantazio, which is coming out later this year. This guy's awesome. Like, I just love his philosophy on developing games and just his approach to it. The story of Catherine it just makes it a masterpiece. It's also pretty short. It's like 12, 13 hours, something like that. It has a bunch of endings apparently, and it was genuinely shocking how much I ended up liking this game. It does not look like my kind of thing, but literally if Hashino directs a game, I'm gonna be there. From now on, I'm going to be there as soon as I can to play one of his games because they just end up being the best thing ever. It also plays like a rated M Pushmo. If you know what Pushmo is, I thought it was great. Next up is Persona 5.1, Persona 5.2, and Persona 5.3. So in all seriousness, Persona 5 got a lot of games. The original Persona 5 Royal is amazing. This is one of my favorite games of all time. How could it not be? It's like the quintessential modern JRPG, maybe even the best JRPG of all time. Blew my mind, changed my life. I've never played a game quite like this. Then the sequel, same deal. I would say all the same things in terms of story. It was incredible. I loved it. And honestly, I'm actually dying to replay this one because I did not like it when I first played it. I thought it was very... You know, I've played some Warriors games, but this one just felt too much like you could spam like the spells and stuff, and it was just like, it felt clunky. It felt like really clunky, even for like a Warriors game, which is just kind of inspired by those. I don't know, I was a little torn. I want to replay it though. And then Persona 5 Tactica, have not even played this one yet. Just add it to the collection because I had a $10 gift card on Amazon, and I decided to put it towards this. Because again, I'm trying to collect all the Atlas games on Switch. I'm excited to try it. The visual style doesn't look super appealing to me, but I do want to try it, and I'm definitely excited about that. Yeah, Persona 5 is amazing. So good. And even though I don't have the physical of Persona 3 and 4 on Switch, because they were like scalped and super expensive because Limited Run did those copies, those two are also amazing games, so I do recommend those. Next up is my Shin Megami Tensei games. I got 3 Nocturne. Like I said, Hoshino directed this one, and I am slowly working my way through it. This game does not like my feelings. It does not respect my feelings. It's kind of an abusive relationship we have going on here with this game. It makes me really sad, but then it's really good. So that means I'm going to take a long time to finish it because it's really hard. It's really good though. I'm trying to play it on normal difficulty. I'm trying not to use merciful at all. Save system sometimes makes me just want to, dunk my head in a toilet. But I really like this game. I think the story theme's phenomenal. I really like the SMT storylines because they're very philosophical, and I love that about them. So good. And then SMT 5. I like this one way more. This is my favorite SMT game right now. I thought it was amazing. I think everyone talking about the story being mid are crazy because like it was great. It was exactly what I wanted, what I vibed with, because it was so new, so different. But I'm so excited for Vengeance to come out. That comes out literally, as of recording this, like a month. It comes out in 1 month, and I'll be playing Vengeance, which is like the sequel to 5. I'm so excited. I already had it pre-ordered and everything, because it seems like it's substantial what they're adding to it. So, very hyped for that.
What if I told you that this wasn't recording right now?
It is recording, right? You gonna make me get up for that?
Yeah.
You freaking dong.
Bruh.
Oh, and I didn't include this in the Atlas section. It's because it's kind of not, but like at the same time it kind of is. So Kemco published this, but this is Citizens Unite Earth X Space. This looks goofy, I know, but Atlas technically published this back on the 3DS and Wii U, and I think the PS4 as well. And that's so weird. This game probably never would have been created if it weren't for Atlas. But later, Limited Run made a physical of this, and Kemco were the ones who published it. I just started this yesterday, and I'm kind of feeling it out. It's very Earthbound inspired. I really like some of the ideas I've already seen in the game so far. I think it's really good. Gabriel finished it though, and what do you think of it?
It's good.
It's good. It's good. I mean, we just finished like the Earth route. It's very complicated. It's like Earth and space. It's like 2 games, and there's like a kind of a third something going. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's just complicated. But it's cool to have in the collection because it's kind of a bit of Atlas history, I feel like. Next up is a collection of, we got 3 games here, and this is the Marvelous games I have on Switch. First up is Storia Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town. I got this because of an old PBG video. it was okay. Next, I also got Rune Factory 4 and 5. Look, I want to like these games more than I do. 4 was better than 5. 5, I knew its performance issues were a thing, but I didn't realize how bad it would be. It was way worse than I expected. And honestly, it does kind of ruin the experience for me, I'm not going to lie. Which usually it doesn't, because there's a lot of games on Switch that don't run as good, but I still end up just adoring them. I mean, SMT 5 definitely has some moments where like there's slowdown or whatever, and you can tell it's pushing the Switch. That didn't hinder my enjoyment at all. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is another one. Like, I had so much fun with those. But these games, I put a lot more time into 4, but I feel like I haven't played them enough to really just get the full experience. I just don't know if they're really my thing, but I've enjoyed what I have played of both. I will say that. And I think that the series has so much potential for where it could go, but I feel like right now it's just not reaching the heights, you know? Also, just a side note, I don't know if I'm gonna highlight like every single like extra knickknacks included with all these games, because I honestly will forget about a lot of them, but the Marvelous games, all 3 of them have little manuals included in each one of their games, and that is amazing. Definitely makes the value proposition even better, in my opinion. So, yeah, Marvelous is alright. Next is 3 Bandai Namco games. I got Pirate Warriors 4 on Switch. I was so excited when this came out. I haven't thought about this game in a while, but it was at like the height of like my hype for One Piece. And to this day, it's probably the best One Piece game probably ever. It's definitely the best one I've played. I thought it was great. Warriors format fits One Piece very well, and I thought it was a lot of fun. It was really good, but what is there to say? It's One Piece Warriors, you know? It's like, alright, you know. It was good. Ni no Kuni 1 and 2, I want to like these games, but I always end up feeling disappointed by them every single time. I think the combat in 2 is significantly better than 1. I don't understand, like, I get the hype around 1, but at the same time, that combat blows, guys. Like, it's not my thing. Like, it's really just not it. Like, it has auto attacks basically, but it's really, the game kind of plays itself without anything more to it than that. It's just not it. I wish this had the combat of this with maybe a little bit something else sprinkled on, because this also just didn't really hook me, but I enjoyed what I played of pretty much both of them. But these 2 games, it's cool to have in the collection because they're really cheap, or they were cheap at one point. This one, Ni no Kuni 2, is still like extremely cheap on Switch. You can get the physical for very little money, but so I'm glad I have them. But at the same time, not really my thing, unfortunately. So next up, we have basically the miscellaneous selection of Switch games. We're kind of approaching the end here, so I'm just gonna pull these ones out. Alright, so this is just miscellaneous companies and publishers. First up is Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I know this looks like the Catherine situation. Like, Gage, you want to explain this to us? But I'm honestly really excited to play this because I haven't played it, so I can't spoil anything. But I just know it is a good game. We'll just say that in case someone watching this knows nothing about it. I'm just gonna say, play it. I haven't played it yet, but you should play it without knowing anything. That's all I'm gonna say. Mato Anomalies. This is a funky little game, and I kind of think it's adorable. I like it. It's basically a Persona-like, which they never end up being as good as you would want them to be. But I thought what I played was good. It's definitely a lower budget. It's definitely a newer team, you can tell. But this is just a cool game to have on Switch, man. Like, I was excited about it when I found out it existed, and I was like, man, that looks cool. I will say that a lot of it looks really budget and indie and sort of cheap, which I understand, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that some of it looks amazing. Like, there are some animations and like little cutscenes and details in here where I'm like, whoa, like they really pushed it in this moment to make it look really good. But overall, I didn't really like the presentation very much, and I thought it was just okay. It was an alright game. Spiritfarer physical. This one is awesome. I played this on Xbox. I've not played the Switch version yet. Gabriel played this version because he hadn't played it before, and I let him play through it. And I'm excited to play it because of that. You know, like, I'm so excited to give it another shot. I'm taking my time before I get around to it because I have played a significant part of it. I never finished it, but this is an amazing indie game, and this is just one of the coolest random games I have on Switch in my collection. So I'm very happy about that one. This one, I've not played this yet. I just got weird on eBay one day, and I decided to get it. It looked cool. It looked like a budget sort of action JRPG. I'm going to try it eventually. I haven't played it yet. A lot of these I haven't played because I've been just like trying to collect everything on Switch that I was going to want before, like, you know, Switch 2 comes out. Just trying to get around everything. XCOM 2 collection on Switch. This is the dumbest thing I have in my collection. It's one of those games that requires a download, so this is going to be a paperweight one day. Really stupid that that's a thing, but there was a deal on GameStop for like getting buy one or buy two and get some free games, so I ended up getting this. It's alright. It's okay. XCOM's alright. I'm not crazy about it. Next up, some Mori. This is amazing to have on Switch. It's so cool. I like this a lot. I ended up feeling kind of 50-50 on this game, though. I like the real-life sections where you're actually playing in the real world. I think that is amazing. But I think the dream world stuff is inconsequential and kind of boring in comparison. So that's why I say I'm very 50-50 on it. There are aspects I really like and aspects I was like kind of mid on, you know. Next up, Disco Elysium on Switch. I've not played it yet. I've heard good things. It doesn't look like my kind of game, but Gunnar keeps telling me to play it and that I'm really going to like it. So I don't know. Not sure what I'll really think when I get around to it, but eventually I will get around to it. Another one is The Cruel King and the Great Hero. This came in the collector's edition, which is in my closet, like the box with everything in it. I just decided I would, you know, take this and put it in the collection and just keep that somewhere else because I don't have a whole lot of room left to like display things. I really liked The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. I thought it was a magical type game that really was just, it was a storybook type game, and it fit it so well, and I had to get this. This was kind of the pseudo sequel to it, and I wanted to try it. I thought the gameplay was just okay by the end of it, but the story is really heartwarming, and there's always great moments in those games. So yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. I think it'll be worth a lot one day as well. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. This game is probably not that good, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. We played the movie game on GBA back in the day, and then we had we played this game, the Battle for Bikini Bottom, on GBA, and then we played the movie game on GameCube growing up. So, and that's kind of like the sequel to this one. So it was cool kind of going back to that style of game, and I 100%ed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, but it is a one-for-one remake, so some people didn't like that. I liked it. I had fun. I honestly thought it was pretty great. Monster Hunter Rise. This was so cool. I liked when we got this, me, Gunnar, and Gabriel got this and played it together. Had a ton of fun with it. Great game. Really great game. I ended up liking Monster Hunter World a little more, and I'm not totally sure why. But that's just kind of how I feel. Do with that what you will. Next is I think it's Merge is the company who published them, but it's Darkest Dungeon and then Dead Cells Castlevania. I just got this because I played this on Xbox as well digitally, but I wanted to have it physically, and this has all the DLC in it, so I'm replaying it here and there with all that included. And then Darkest Dungeon I got at one of our local mom and pop kind of video game stores. It was like 20-some bucks, but, you know, it looked kind of cool. Figured I would give it a shot. It's cool to have another physical game in the collection. So, yeah, I think that's actually the end of the Switch collection there. That's all my Switch games. I give it a gauge out of 10. 'Cause that's pretty much all the Switch games I feel like I really needed, so to speak. Maybe there's a few here and there I'd still like to get, but I mean, SMT5 is one of them, waiting for that to launch. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely happy with that collection there. why don't we move on to the next section, being the Xbox games.
Yeah, it's gonna be 5 hours.
The Xbox section. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be as opinionated about these. Pac-Man and Pokeball. I don't know if y'all care about that, but there they are. Borderlands map has been sitting here for a while. I need to get a physical copy to put this thing in, but that's just chilling right now. Now, the games. So we have a couple here with no case. That's my copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. One of the best party games. You play zombies, 4-player split screen, you will have the most fun of your life. It is a game that we always play. Me and my brothers, we play that game all the time whenever we're together. Duck Dynasty on 360, there's a reason why I don't have a case. I raged at this game back in the day and I broke it over my knee.
You couldn't beat Psy at a boat race.
I couldn't beat Psy at the freaking boat race on a replay of it, and I broke the case.
You did a Captain Falcon Air, or a fair.
Yeah, it's forward air. Yeah. I regret that to this day, but because I wish I had the case. But at least I still have the game.
For you, freaking jealous.
Halo 3 ODST. I don't really need this anymore because I got the Master Chief Collection with it, but it's cool. I think it's 2 discs in there technically. The orange box. This is worth a lot these days because, actually, I don't know why. It just is, but Half-Life 2 and Portal are on here. Amazing value for those alone. That's a great collection of games there. I guess we'll go through the Xbox One games first because they're on top of my 360 games. But that is starting out with the first stack here, which I don't organize. I don't think I've organized any of these in any particular way, so they just kind of exist here. No Man's Sky. This was gifted to me by Gunnar, I believe. Played a little bit of it. Didn't get into it like I hoped. Haven't played it since. A Way Out. This was gifted to me by Gavin. We played it together. I thought it was amazing. Gavin was a little more mixed on it. I thought it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I think it's honestly one of the best co-op games ever. It's just one of my favorite gaming memories, honestly. I had so much fun playing it. BioShock the Collection. I got this earlier this year. It's amazing. BioShock is a masterpiece. One of my favorite games just ever. It's so freaking good. And I didn't initially think that. When I first played it years ago, I was like, it was okay. Yeah, it was alright. But replaying it now solidified it as honestly one of the best games ever made. I think it is honestly that good, and it's revolutionary how it told its story. So good. Next is Star Wars Battlefront, the first one. I got this on Black Friday for like $2. Pretty good value. Call of Duty World War II. The Actman is going to skin me alive if he ever sees this. But this game's alright. I think it was pretty fun. The campaign was alright, kind of forgettable. Zombies was actually kind of good. I liked it. I didn't totally hate it. Multiplayer was also really fun. I played that quite a bit. I hate this. Batman Arkham Knight. I got the stupid GameStop case, and I kind of despise that, but there it is. Probably my least favorite Batman game. Moving on. Next up, we have the Mass Effect games on Xbox. We got Andromeda. Haven't played it yet. Got it for like $5. And I really like this one, so I figured I'd have it. Just, one day I'll play it. The Legendary Edition is an amazing value. Got it fairly cheap. It was under $20. And I had always heard about how good these games were. But man, when I played them, changed everything. Like, dude, BioWare, I see why they're so respected, because honestly, this is one of the best video game stories ever told in gaming. I believe I didn't mind the ending of 3. I actually thought it was amazing. I really liked everything this game did. One of the best games I've played on the Xbox. The Walking Dead Telltale series. This is one of the coolest games in the collection. One of the coolest cases. That is an amazing cover right there with Clementine through the years, the zombie. Amazing composition there. Amazing. This game is amazing. I did actually my most viewed long form video on this channel was talking about this game and how it's hard to replay it, because what I found was that the choices are kind of an illusion, so there's not really a whole lot of diversity. It's more like watching a movie, but at that point I wish I really wish what I could have done is like the game would memorize every decision I made, and I could just watch it like a TV show after the fact instead of having to play it. Maybe that's a weird thing with me, but I feel like the interactivity is kind of lacking in that sense because it really doesn't change that much. But I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. Next is the worst game on Xbox. I hate this monstrosity with all of my heart. Didn't make any sense. Stupid fights, stupid characters.
3 hours later.
I didn't like this game. Basically, it's the worst game of all time. If you ask anyone what is the worst game ever and they don't say this, they're probably wrong. One of the best games of all time. One of the best games of all time. MCC is a great value. Every person who owns an Xbox needs to have this game. There's so much value here. I know it launched in a crappy state, but I've gotten so much playtime out of this. Halo is just one of my favorite series ever. Infinite's very weird for me. This disc is basically just a download thingy, which is stupid, retarded, but Infinite was amazing the first time through and the first 2 seasons of the multiplayer, but after that, I don't know, it just kind of became a little disappointing to me, honestly. I feel like Halo's kind of run its course, or at least this story with Chief has, and it's just lame. I wish there was more good coming out of it. Let me go ahead and grab another stack here. We got the Subnautica games on Xbox. These are some of the best games you can ever get on your Series X. I genuinely believe that because on Series X they run buttery smooth and the draw distances is not a problem anymore like it was on the old consoles. These are some of the best games ever. Unknown Worlds Entertainment, or Unknown Worlds, amazing studio and developers. I adore both of these games. I think the first one is a little better, and it is in my top 10 favorite games of all time. It was so memorable playing it the first time. I thought I wouldn't like it. Ended up being quite amazing. I adore this game. Replaying it's a little hard nowadays, just because like it's all about discovery, but playing it that first time is magical. Next is the Red Dead games. Red Dead 1, this is the Game of the Year edition. It's like the Xbox One 360 weird thing they did. This version is great other than the fact that you literally can't play anything other than campaign with this because the Zombies Undead Nightmare DLC is like bugged to high heavens, so it's literally like unplayable, which is really lame because what I did play was really cool and fun. It was really funny as well. But the main story is amazing. I never thought I would like this guy, but I love him. And then Red Dead 2 is also amazing as well. My opinion of this has kind of soured. If y'all remember the my top 10 video games of all time list video I did about a year ago now, this was in there. I don't think it would be anymore because I think as a story, like a cinematic movie, TV show like story, it's one of the best out there, just period. But in terms of a video game, there's a lot about it that does annoy me, and it's hard to replay it, at least right now. And maybe the replay isn't the best point to make, because I did play it recently, but I don't know, guys. I just feel like it's sort of a missed opportunity in certain aspects of its design. They were pretty lame to me. But overall, it is a great game, and definitely worth the price of admission. Next is the Ghost Recon games on Xbox, Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint. Here's the deal. When this came out, Wildlands was like the best game ever in my eyes. It was like the most fun, like year and a half when it came out. It felt like everybody I knew was playing this game, and it was some of the best gaming memories I've ever had on the Xbox One. So fun. Now, going back is difficult because I don't think it's held up as well as I would have liked. I think Breakpoint's kind of a better game, and that's crazy because a lot of people don't think that. I think there's good and bad in both. I think there's aspects, if we could put them together, it'd be better. The story of Wildlands takes a fat dump on Breakpoint. Breakpoint's story is retarded. Wildlands' story is great. I think it's realistic. It definitely fits the Ghost Recon franchise. I'm very passionate about the Ghost Recon franchise. This fits the story and themes and the tone perfectly. But a lot of the design, the gameplay, skill trees, and the RPG mechanics are stupid. I hate them. I think it's lame as freak because it's so unrealistic. And this series was made by Tom Clancy with the idea being it being like a realistic soldier military simulation. And this game just kind of spits in the face of that, just goes against that too much, and I don't like that. The reason why I like Breakpoint more is, even though the story is like dog water, it's horrible and I hate it, everything about it, with every fiber of my being, if you play this on the ghost mode that they added later, I think it is incredible, and I think it's actually possibly one of the best games in the franchise if you play it that way, with like a bunch of the HUD turned off and, you know, make it the hardest difficulty, you know, like just, you gotta customize it a very certain way, which Ubisoft thankfully gives you a lot of customization in their games. This can be one of the most memorable gaming experiences if you play it right. Don't play with the loot tiers. I've never tried that version, but that looked horrible, and that's why I didn't care to get this for the longest time. The game requires internet, so one day it's going to expire and die, and you'll never be able to play it again, and I'll be extremely sad because I really like Breakpoint. When all is said and done, I played this game a lot. I played it with Gunnar a lot back in the day, and had some great memories. I really like this game a lot, and I like it more than I probably should. There's that. That's my extended take. Modern Warfare. I like this game, but I hate that it's literally like 3 billion gigabytes. And it's like the most, like, you need a PhD to figure out how to install this freaking monstrosity of a game. Why the freak is it so hard to install it? Literally, like, I'm trying to just play the campaign. Like, I don't care about multiplayer. I don't care about anything else. Because all it is all it basically is multiplayer. Installing just the campaign, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to get through. Horrible. Anti-consumer to the umpteenth degree. But if you can get past all of that, I think the campaign, in a lot of ways, is very stupid in terms of how it's written. But I think gameplay-wise, it was awesome. I think the animations are top tier. I think the gunplay, the sounds, the audio of it all is amazing. Really immersive. And honestly, you can kind of play it like a tactical shooter a little bit, like kind of a little bit. And I like that. Playing on the hardest difficulty where it cuts out a bunch of the HUD it was memorable. It is very memorable. I would give it that. I had a lot of fun with it. I wish it was like, if it was like 20 gigs or something like that, I would keep it installed, but I had to install it because it's like way too big, and I only played the campaign. But I replayed the campaign like a bunch because I thought it was so fun. So yeah, I'm very torn on that game, but playing it's fun. Anyways, moving on. The next stack, this is the final stack of Xbox One games we have, or in Series X games, if you will. Elden Ring is the first one. I had to get it. I'm not a huge Souls fan, but I enjoyed Elden Ring. I didn't finish it. It was really long and hard, and I'm a big baby, and I did make a video about it on the channel a while ago. And I think it's great. I think it is deserving of Game of the Year awards and all that fun stuff. It definitely deserved it. It's a great game. I recognize its quality. Where it kind of fell apart for me is that the variety of combat wasn't there for me, where I just found one play style and stuck with that for like the entire game. And it just became a little boring. I wish the game pushed me to test out new play styles and weapons and, you know, all that fun stuff. I wish that was something that it somehow pushed me towards. But great game all the same. Monster Hunter World, as I said earlier, I like this one a lot. I ended up liking it more than Rise. I played it basically just single player. I had a lot of fun with it. I played it a ton, and it has beautiful graphics and all that, and it's like the best-selling Capcom game. I think it's great. I have Minecraft, the Xbox One edition. This isn't a thing Minecraft does anymore because they just have like just Minecraft these days. But it's Minecraft. What the frick should I say? Like, what is there left to say about it? You know what I'm saying? Ark Survival Evolved. For a while, this is one of my favorite games on the Xbox. I played it so much when I first got it, and I was so hyped that I could play this. It's a little clunky. Actually, it's very clunky. It's a very weird game at the same time, and it's not really suited to single player very much. So a survival game like Subnautica far exceeds it and surpasses it in my opinion. But I really like dinosaurs. I grew up playing dinosaur shooters and dinosaur games and watching Jurassic Park. How could I not? How could I not enjoy this? This is still one of the coolest games, I think. Jedi Fallen Order, it's good, but I replayed it. I never end up liking it as much as I wish I did. You know, I wish it was like a masterpiece in my eyes. I think it's really good. It's incredibly fun. It takes some notes from the Souls games. I think it's amazing. I think it has some very fluid combat as well, and it's great. I haven't played the sequel yet, but I think it's really good. Okami HD, I never finished it, but I got so close to the end, and this is just an amazing game. It's breathtaking, genuinely, like how pretty it looks. This is incredible. Like, it's just so good. It's kind of a Zelda-like game. It's just beautiful, though. Like, there's just no denying just how beautiful that game is. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. This is the only Assassin's Creed besides Rogue. I played those two. This is the best one. I think this is the best Assassin's Creed. My favorite one, easily. No other one ever interested me, but this one was the pirate one. I had to play that. Being a big One Piece fan, I like pirates, so I thought it was great. Great story as well. That was a good game. I don't know if I'd ever replay it, but I do like it. Inside and Limbo. I'm so happy I have this combo pack because I wanted it physically because I really like Inside. I really like Limbo, but I adore Inside. So good. Inside's somewhere around the top 10. Probably is in the top 10 favorite games, but it is so close because it is genuinely amazing. One of a kind experience. I can't wait for Playdead's next game. Jump Force Ultimate Edition. Now look, guys, I know I'm taking a risk putting this, on the channel and talking about it because, I know everybody's trying to get these copies right now because they'd be worth a lot. I'm sitting on a gold mine. Then I check in, they're worth like freaking like $10 or something stupid. But this game got delisted. It's kind of notorious right now. A lot of people can't get this easily. The DLC's wiped off the face of the earth, so unless you have it downloaded, it's gone. I paid $100 for this when it came out because I'm an idiot and I really was excited about it. I had a lot of fun with it, but honestly, it's not a great game. Very disappointing, but that trailer got me too hyped. That trailer, when it came out in E3, was just too good. Alien Isolation. I rarely use this disc anymore because I got this. It ended up being the Nostromo edition, which I actually didn't initially order. I ordered just the normal thing, and I ended up with that, so that was a neat surprise. But later, everything, like the game, as well as the DLC, it was on sale for like $13 on the Xbox store. So I bought that, so I have it digitally and physically, and I usually just play the digital version, but I'm very happy I own this. It's incredible. One of the best survival horror games of all time. And it's really long, and that's crazy. It's like a 20-30 hour game, but I recently fell in love with the Alien franchise, and this game it holds up amazingly. It looks like current gen, honestly. Like, sometimes you'll see certain textures load in front of you, whatever. You'll have like little moments where it looks weird, but it looks current gen. Like, you could fool me. It just looks incredible. The lighting is what sells it. Rare Replay. Oh, don't drop it. I played a few games. I ended up not really playing a lot of them or liking a lot of them as much as I wish I did, because a lot of them are like really old games that like are really obtuse, and I don't care enough to really play those. But I don't know. I was a little bummed that GoldenEye wasn't included, and when they re-released GoldenEye, you can only get it if you had this digitally, so that was stupid. But best memory with this was playing Banjo. I played the first Banjo game quite a bit. I played Battletoads. I don't really care about this collection that much. I don't vibe with it as much as I feel like other people do. Sea of Thieves recently came out on PlayStation. This game is it's the best, most boring game of all time. We made some fun memories playing it, me and Gunner, but it's kind of a stupid game. I think a lot of it is just unnecessarily difficult and unnecessarily random and hard, and it feels like a missed opportunity. I wish it was more geared towards like 2-player or 1-player, you know, like single player. It's just something, you know. I wish there was something else there, because I wanted to like it more than I did. Jurassic World Evolution, I got this from Gunner. It's okay. I didn't play a ton, but what I did play was pretty good. Alright, so that is the Xbox One games. Now we have 360. These are below all the Xbox One games, so we'll start from the left, which is my original Xbox games. Those being Full Spectrum Warrior. This copy I got on eBay has the ugly stickers that used to be there, and they're hideous, but this game is cool, man. Like, it's a tactical shooter that you control like each squad at the same time. I like it. Also, Xbox cases are like sturdy as freak. Like, you could probably kill a man with this thing. Like, this is a brick. This is a cool game. I didn't finish it. There was one level where I died like 10 times. It was so hard, but amazing game. I actually think it's kind of a sleeper hit, and you can play it on the Series X, so that's pretty sick. Chicken Little. I love this guy. This is the best game on the original X. No, I'm just kidding. It's a great... It's good. It's good. It's a 3D platformer with some other genres mixed in there, thrown in, random parts. I grew up adoring the original movie. I had fun. I finished it. It's not super long. But I like movie license games quite a bit because of the King Kong license game. So it was cool to, you know, play Chicken Little. I'm cool, I swear. The rest of my Xbox games are all in the same series, that being Splinter Cell. These games rock. There's one stage in this game that blows and it's terrible. I got this game for like $3. That's amazing, because honestly, this game has aged so well. Doesn't even control that bad. It's one of the best Xbox games, just period. It's so good. It is amazing. I'm a huge Splinter Cell fan. Classic Splinter Cell is my jam. It's amazing. But then, obviously, we got Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. I have a soft spot for this one, as it was the first Splinter Cell game I ever played. Played it on the PS2 originally. And I ended up getting another copy of this. So I had 3 copies for a minute. But, I like this one. I like it slightly more than the first one, which most people don't say that. I like the story more, and I liked the more outside jungle aesthetic a little bit more. I thought it was pretty cool. The best one in the series, Chaos Theory, is incredible. This one rocks. Best Splinter Cell, in my opinion. Has co-op in there, split screen. That's so much value right there. Me and Gunnar played through all of those. I wish there was more games like this. Even if they looked old. Like, this game looks old, but like, it aged so well because of the lighting. And that's what I can say about all of them. But yeah, that's the original trilogy right there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get the 360 ones as well, so we can talk about those right after. But next is actually, I have 2 of the same game. I have Double Agent on Xbox and then 360. 360 is like the main version, but they're basically 2 separate games. They have the same rough story, but they're like different scenes, different moments in them. The graphics look different. This is much more in line with Chaos Theory. I didn't finish it because it was not as streamlined as Chaos Theory. It was like the missions are really difficult to like know where to go. You can look at the map, and it has you like backtracking a lot, which I don't know. It wasn't my favorite stage design. This version I want to replay because I didn't like it as much as I feel like I would if I played it now. But Double Agent's kind of cool. It's good. It's good. It's probably lower on my ranking, but not as low as Conviction. This game is terrible. Actually, hold up. Is this rattling? Oh, no, it's in there. It's in there good. Oh, manual. I got the complete inbox. Yo. Conviction. Wait, what is this? Ghost Recon Future Soldier VIP beta access included. Dang, that's crazy. Splinter Cell Conviction, like I said, controls were horrible. Story was good, though. It was probably the darkest Splinter Cell game, and I liked that aspect of it, but the controls are actually abhorrent. They are terrible. Splinter Cell Blacklist, second favorite in the series, much better than Conviction, and for a long time it was my favorite, but it's got to be my second favorite because Chaos Theory is just too good. But me and Gunnar, this is like our game. Like, this is the game we played the most together and had the most memories of, so this is just one of my favorite games, man. Like, I adore Blacklist. It's so good. The biggest downside to it is that it doesn't have Michael Ironsides, the original voice actor for Sam Fisher. Sorely missed. He ain't dead or anything. He just didn't play in that game, and kind of lame. I miss him. The rest of my Tom Clancy games, the Ghost Recon trilogy with Advanced Warfighter 1, 2, and Future Soldier. This was a great value for me at the time. I got to play all three. Unfortunately, they stacked the game, so you have to like take all the discs out to get the one you want. That's horrible. The Advanced Warfighter series was one that I never really played the campaign of much growing up, but I finished Future Soldier. I think Future Soldier's good. I think it's the worst Ghost Recon in the franchise because it's really not a Ghost Recon game. It's more of a Gears of War type game. Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2 are really great. I think Advanced Warfighter 2 is one of my favorite Ghost Recon games. It's really great. It's really great. It's definitely not the direction that I want the franchise to be going in, but I like it overall. And then we have Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. I own one digitally, I think. I own this digitally on the Xbox store, but I got them both physically for super cheap. And I think these games they're good. They're pretty good. I didn't finish either of them. I didn't even start this campaign. I started this, didn't finish it. I played a lot of the multiplayer, though. I played the multiplayer quite a bit with my brothers, and it was a good time. It was pretty funny. There's that stage in the first one where it's like I think it's a bank maybe, and there's like some verticality with it, and we played that so many times. It's stupid fun. It's so freaking hard, but it was kind of cool. I think there's so much potential with Rainbow Six as a franchise. This is the Tom Clancy franchise I have the least connection to, even though I'm very passionate about this series still. I just think there's so much freaking potential with it that they need to take more notes from like the older games in the franchise, and that's how they need to reinvigorate it now. But we'll have to wait for that like new game to come out, you know? Next up is another one of my top 10 favorite games of all time, Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie.
I might want to leave it.
This is one of the best games ever made. It's also one of the best, if not the best, licensed game ever made. I think it is absolutely incredible. Recently I did that video where we went over the magazine from Game Informer for this thing. So good. So good. It's kind of a survival horror game in the sense that it has some of those mechanics. No HUD, so it's very immersive. Has the original voice cast from the movie. Peter Jackson and Michelle Ancel worked together to make this as good as it possibly could be, and it's genuinely one of my favorite games ever. I have it complete in box with the manual. This game you can't buy anymore digitally on the Xbox store. I guess licenses expired or something, but this is it's so good. Randomly is one of my favorite games ever because I just have so many memories playing it. It was my first shooter game I ever owned, personally. Not the first one I ever played, but first one I ever owned. Incredible. We have Prey. I got this on our collection video where we traveled to a bunch of video game stores. It's kind of like Doom 3. It was cool. It was not like my favorite game ever, but I liked it. It was very weird. It's a very weird game, but I like it. Prey's alright. Then I got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Game of the Year Edition. That's kind of goofy, but this is good. Good game. One of my, if not my favorite Call of Duty game in the franchise. I think this is kind of the last time they were focused on like that realism, keeping things grounded until they, brought that idea back later. Great campaign. I like it quite a bit. Modern Warfare 3. I randomly don't own Modern Warfare 2. I borrowed that from a friend back in the day. Modern Warfare 3 gameplay-wise is extremely boring compared to the rest of them. And by the time we got to 3, we were just kind of done with this. Not a huge fan of this one. It's just not it. I don't like MW3 too much. In terms of story, I really like what they did with it, being like, you know, World War III, that type of thing. That's pretty cool. But in terms of gameplay, very boring if you ask me. Not at all what we wanted. Call of Duty Ghosts. Might as well get these out of the way. Call of Duty Ghosts, I know it gets a bad rap. Everyone always like piles on this game saying like how bad it was and stupid it is, but I'm gonna go on record saying I don't think it's actually that bad. Story gets kind of goofy at parts for sure, but in terms of gameplay, Ghost is better than MW3, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I had so much more fun playing this campaign. I think the animations being different and the guns being different made it way better, in my opinion. I just enjoyed it way more. Call of Duty 3, I ended up with this because my little brothers were playing it and ended up on my shelf. But I don't like this one. Every single time I try to replay it, I don't like it. And I don't get very far. It's just
Call of Duty with vehicles.
Yeah, it's got vehicles, but it's just not very good if you ask me. I think Treyarch got way better after this one because I think this was their first Call of Duty game. They got way better later. Next up, we got my copy of Turok, baby. I got such a soft spot for this game. This is one of the goofiest little things that ever came out, but I like it. This also was the hardest game to get your hands on back in the day. It was so difficult to find anywhere, and when I finally found it, I was so excited because it just looked so cool. I really like that random dinosaur shooter games. This is not on Series X, so you can only play it with the 360, which is lame as freak, but I like this game. I have a soft spot for it. Nostalgia is part of that. And I know it's a bad Turok game. I get that. They try to make it like a Gears of War with it being like all these muscly dudes and stuff, and they got rid of a lot of the original lore. I get that. I know. But come on. Ron Perlman's in it. It's got knives and bows. It's cool. It's cool. I like it. It's really cool. I like it. I want to replay it so bad because I actually remember thinking it was pretty good. And honestly, I think it's great. Insect Armageddon. Who else has played this? Who has played this game before? This game, I've never heard a single human being on this planet ever talk about it, so I'm convinced it only exists in this household. It is so cool. Me and Gunnar played this one a long time ago, and this is not our original copy. We had to buy this one later, but it's literally like giant bugs are like attacking the world, and you need to like fight back as like these soldiers. It is so crazy awesome. Such a cool game. We had so much fun with it. I think the controls are pretty good, and you can play this on the Series X. I think it's a great game. We had so much fun doing couch co-op with that one. Another one of my favorite couch co-op memories with Gunnar. So fun. That was like back in the days where we were like looking for couch co-op games to play specifically. Nowadays it's like, you know, you're lucky if you get a couch co-op game because they just don't make them like that anymore. Jurassic the Hunted. Yes, sir. Hold up, is this one dangling? Let me check. Nope, it's in there. Complete in box. This is an Activision game, which is so goofy. This is another random dinosaur shooter that you can't play on Series X. I don't know what the freaking Series X has against dinosaurs, but I want to play this. I don't want to play Second Extinction anymore. I want to play a single player game. This one is also amazing. A lot of variety with the guns and stuff. I remember the combat being fun. I just didn't like how it was one of those games where you carry like 4 guns at once and you cycle through them. That's lame. I don't like that, but it's a great game, dude. Dinosaur shooters are the bomb. Like, they're so underrated. Jurassic Park the game. My copy has seen better days, but I got this because it is going up in price. It is becoming a rarer game, but I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. I had to play it. I remember watching like clips of Let's Players play this back in the day because I was so curious what it was like. It's not a good game. It's really just quick time events. The game really not good, not fun, but it's a cool little story, and honestly, I have a soft spot for it. I'd like to check it out again later. Time Shift. This is a Half-Life 2 inspired game. My top of the copy is pretty messed up and got so many chips in it. So that's kind of lame. But Time Shift is goofy, man. I like this thing. This is like, yeah, this is not in good condition, but I wanted this game so bad back in the day, and I finally got it. It's like Half-Life 2. It's just very experimental type first-person shooter, and I kind of like that about it. Far Cry 3. This is one of the early videos I made on the channel. I wanted to try it out, play it, and see how it holds up today. When I first played it, I was very critical of it, and I didn't like it very much. But honestly, I think I like this game a lot. I feel like the story, the more I've marinated on it, the better it's become. And I honestly feel like this is one of the quintessential 360 games, because I feel like nowadays we look back on this and are like, oh, it's Far Cry 3, and now we have like Far Cry 6. Like, they just keep doing the same thing. And Ubisoft just made every game Far Cry 3, which is where that meme came from that I put in this video when I made it. But I think if you put this in isolation, it's really cool what they did with the story. It's very sort of meta, and it really is the type of story that only works in a video game. And it has a lot of interactivity. So I kind of like that, you know? Honestly, I feel like maybe I was a little too harsh in this game, is all I'm saying. I actually think it's pretty good. I randomly have Injustice. I remember this being the bomb back in the day. Pretty quality game, honestly. I just don't have anything else to say about it nowadays. A couple pre-owned goofy case games. I feel disgusted that I own these, but Alien Colonial Marines, I freaking hate that I don't have the box for this one. I'm going to have to buy that. This doesn't play on the Series X, which is lame, because I actually think this game is not that bad. It's not as bad as everyone wants you to believe. I really want to play it, though. I think it would be a lot of fun to like hook up the 360 and play that after getting into Aliens so much. Rayman Origins. Rayman Oranges. Great game. I like it a little more than Legends. One of the best 2D platformers I've played. Alan Wake. See, why do they do that? It's like different sides every time. Alan Wake's great. Played it years ago, and I really liked it. And I don't know, I feel like if I replayed it now, it would kind of change my opinion of it to be, you know, better than I remember.
That's the best port on Switch ever.
Yeah, pretty bad Switch port. FIFA 13 was like the soccer game back in the day. This is the best wrestling game of all time.
You just kick people.
This is the best wrestling game. It's actually kickboxing. It's not FIFA. This guy is a murderer. That's actually what it is.
What about the FIFA glitch?
Oh gosh, don't talk about the FIFA glitch. That is like my sleep paralysis demon. Halo Reach. Again, it's cool to have it. I'm glad I have it, because it's, again, one of those quintessential 360 games that like everyone played. It was like the best party game on an Xbox forever. But I have it on Master Chief Collection now, so Reach was good. Reach was good. Next, we have Oblivion and Skyrim. I recently talked about Skyrim in that video where I talked about new game pickups. Haven't played it yet. At least replayed it, 'cause I did play it back in the day some. And Oblivion, I played this quite a bit. I think if I played it now, I would like it more than I did back then. It's cool. This is a goofy case. I don't like the platinum hits. It's like minimizes the actual box art. That's stupid. But Oblivion's pretty cool. It's cool to have both of those. Almost done. We have... This is a weird thing. It's the Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts and the Viva Pinata double pack. This is also like a brick. This thing is solid. It also puts the information at the bottom, so this is a very crowded case, and it's double-sided, which is really goofy. But, you know, it's good value. I mean, I think these are both on Rare Replay, so I don't really need this in the collection, but I don't know, it's kind of a random cool thing to have. Next is Condemned Criminal Origins. This is a Sega game, which is weird. This game is cool. They need to remake this or something. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, they literally, like, that would be awesome.
Criminal Database, what do you call it?
Criminal Database. It's kind of a survival horror game. It's aged remarkably well. The lighting's really good. Of course, the character models look rough if you like really look at them. Yeah, but the AI is freaky, dude. Like, they'll hide, and if you hit them, like, they'll run and hide, and so they can, you know, jump you later. Great game. Honestly, I think the story gets a little unhinged towards the later parts where you're like, what is happening? I don't understand. But it was one of the early 360 games, and honestly, I think it's aged incredibly well. I really like this game. It got a sequel, but I don't know anything about that one, and I don't think it was as good as that.
Did you know Condemned was the Xbox 360 launch title?
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was. It was pretty early, so. Sonic Unleashed for 360. The Wii version's better, but I ended up with this thinking it was basically the same, but it's really not. Sonic Unleashed is okay. Legendary. I lent my copy to a friend back in the day, and I never saw it again, so I had to rebuy it.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
I like this game. This one, this is another one that's like, no one knows what this is. No one knows, like, no one talks about it. No one knows what it is. That's an insane cover, though. It's such a cool cover. I don't understand. I don't understand people, maybe back in the day, not liking it, but I feel like this one's like a sleeper hit. Like, this is a hidden gem, guys. I'm telling you. It's so creative and unique, and it's just a standalone first-person shooter game. It's not boring. It's not like COD. I mean, you're fighting freaking griffins and minotaurs and werewolves, and there's an axe, and like, this game is cool, guys. Like, I think this is underrated and maybe like a hidden gem of a game that I feel like if they let us play this on Series X, a lot of people would have fun if they played it and gave it a chance, because I think Legendary is the bomb. I had so much fun playing it back in the day. It's also terrifying. I'm very scared of it. Next, Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City. I don't know how my copy of Arkham Origins. That's kind of gone. But Arkham City's the best one. Arkham City or Arkham Asylum is also really good. Good games. I like them. BioShock 2 randomly on Xbox 360. I'm glad I own this, but kind of wish I had the first one to go alongside of it. And then the Lego Movie video game. If y'all know what My Sims is to PBG, that's what this is to me. This is that game that haunts my dreams. I got it for like $60 brand new, and
It's like $5.
so yeah, that's all the Xbox games. Let me go ahead and put these up. Slap those on there. Put the Xbox ones away. Let me just throw these back on here. I need to buy Borderlands. I literally need to buy Borderlands, put that map in there. That's what I gotta do. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. Hey, y'all gonna have to let me know if you want me to do a Mass Effect Andromeda Let's Play series. If this video gets enough likes, we'll do it. Moving on, we're now going to get into GameCube. Let's do GameCube. I only have like 3. This is where we get into some like the smaller collections. I got 3 GameCube games on the shelf here. Mario Sunshine. This is my copy, my second copy as a kid, because we broke our first one because I fell on it when Gavin pushed me over a chair. So we had to rebuy it. That's my original copy of Sunshine. I'll probably never sell it. That'd be like spitting in like 7-year-old me's face. I can't do that. And then Pikmin. It's Pikmin. I want to get this on Switch. The best Mario Kart. Double Dash is amazing. We also have like 2 copies of this. Gavin has one and I have one. Don't know how that happened, but it did, and it's cool. It's cool that we have that. The only Wii game that has a case, because unfortunately I was a freaking monster as a kid, and I threw the cases away, or at least I didn't protect them, is Bakugan. I got this for $2. This is the only physical Wii game I have in the collection. That is incredibly sad. I do have other Wii games though. They're just hiding in this little Mary's Candies. I have a second copy of Bakugan. Sure, we have WarioWare Shake It. I got that to safety, but no case. Metroid Prime Trilogy, that's how I originally played Metroid Prime and finished it, and learned I did not like Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I don't think that game is that good, honestly. That's maybe a hot take. Twilight Princess, cool game, didn't finish it, got very far, then file got corrupted on GameCube, had to replay it. Smash Brawl, story mode is amazing, rest of the game hasn't aged super well. Secret Rings, it's pretty bad. Then we have Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, just Corruption, not the trilogy. I also have that. Metroid Other M. I am convinced if they do a Metroid Other M Definitive Edition, maybe redo some voice acting, get rid of like, because they translated it wrong in a lot of scenes, bring back like the Japanese tone of a lot of the scenes. I think Metroid Other M could be amazing. If they redo the controls, adjust the story in some areas, I think it could be actually a bit of a masterpiece. That's just my opinion though. A lot of people don't like that game. I don't think it's that bad though. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I got this from Gavin, because Gavin actually bought this game, weirdly enough, and he gave it to me later. I'm happy I own it, but I want it to come out on Switch, because I don't want to play it on the Wii U, because our Wii U gamepad is broke. Breath of the Wild, this was Gunner's copy growing up, and he gave it to me. I don't need this, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of goofy to have that in the collection, you know? It's pretty cool. The only amiibo I have that are non-Fire Emblem amiibo is the Metroid Dread Emmy and Samus amiibos. They're pretty cool. I keep them on the shelf. But I do have a lot more Fire Emblem ones. Next up, let's do the 3DS games. I do have a little more of these. Here, I'll just like take them off the shelf like so. Metroid Samus Returns is the one I usually keep displayed right here. I adore this game. It's incredible. Dread is a little better, but I do think that this one is amazing. I think the changes to the ending compared to the original I'm a little mixed on, but pretty good. Codename Steam, I always contemplate putting this on the Fire Emblem shelf due to the Fire Emblem amiibo functionality. I didn't finish this game because it's really weird, but it's cool, I think. Intelligent Systems made it. It's just an odd game, man. Like, it's just weird. It's weird that even exists. It's like got freaking Abraham Lincoln in it. Super Mario 3D Land. I really want to play 3D World on Switch. 3D Land was good. That's really all there is to say about it, though. Ocarina of Time 3D. This is the best. This is one of the best 3DS games. You gotta own Ocarina of Time 3D. It's the best version. It's the best version of Ocarina of Time, and it really has aged so well. Like, that game is so good. Yoshi's Woolly World. I like this game. It's probably the best Yoshi game besides Yoshi's Island. I think it's pretty good. I like it. Kid Icarus Uprising. This game needs some more love. They need to bring this out on Switch or something.
Like, Sakurai teased it on his YouTube channel.
If they did that, like, it would be so hype, because I know the writing is so good. I played it years ago. I was much younger at the time. I didn't get to fully enjoy the best aspects of this game, but if I went back to it now, this would be incredible to me. I just want to replay it, and I just don't want to play it on 3DS, because them controls are pretty bad. The Pokemon games, I'm just going to take all these at once. We got Pokemon Moon, Ultra Moon. That is the most useless game.
I think that gen is the second worst gen.
I don't know. Sun and Moon was pretty good.
I hate it.
I think it's better than X and Y, personally.
I hate you.
Ultra Moon's the stupidest, dumb, sequel to a game they ever did.
Let's play Sword and Shield, but then there's Ultra Shield, Ultra Sword.
It's very dumb. Omega Ruby, I think Gen 3 is the best Pokemon designs in the franchise. Gen 3 is amazing. X is, or I got Y. Y is okay. Y is okay. It's good. It's good.
Very good.
I mean, it's Pokemon. Controls are kind of whack, but it's alright. Final two 3DS games in box. We got Mario Maker on 3DS. And then we got the Divorce Simulator. Freaking Triforce Heroes is what shatters friendships. It's the worst Zelda game, I'm convinced. It's pretty bad. We played it back in the day, me, Gunnar, and Gabriel, and it's just frustrating and needlessly cumbersome to play. I don't like it at all. Not my thing. Next up is DS games. I'm going to go ahead and grab Pokemon White. I keep that one displayed. This is my favorite Pokemon game. I think the visual style has aged way better than a lot of the other ones because it's pixelated, but they move. It's the only game that has that style. And it's Pokemon White, man. It's got a really cool story, man. Everything with N and Getsus or whatever freak his name was really cool stuff. And even as a kid, I could tell it was cool. I just want to replay it. So if they remake this, I want to play that. So yeah, Pokemon White, is a classic for me. I like that one a lot. The rest of my DS games, I got Kirby Squeak Squad. That was my Kirby game growing up. I don't think no manual in this one, but I do have the game. Squeak Squad it's all right, but I have a soft spot for it. It was the Kirby game I played the most growing up, and I'm really glad I have it. Another DS game is Golden Sun Dark Dawn. This is probably worth a lot. I just don't really know. I haven't really checked, but this was the first Golden Sun I ever played, and I think it's pretty ugly nowadays, but the game itself was so fun, and it's what really made me want to play the rest of the series on Switch. And I ended up falling out of the first one a little bit, and I haven't gone back to it, but I like the series quite a bit. Then we have Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie on DS.
That is the most brutal looking thing.
It's a different version of the game. It's still first person. It plays like the other versions. It's just so ugly. I wish it let me use the little nipple looking thing on new 2DS. It lets you turn and look around. You have to use the touchpad though with the stylus to look around. It's not very good controls, but it's just a cool game to have in the collection. I didn't pay that much for it, and I just wanted to say that I owned it. And now all I need is the GBA version. I think I'll have pretty much every version that came out. Back here we have Chicken Little. I have 2 copies of it. I have just the cartridge by itself, and then we have the complete inbox copy.
It's gonna be worth like $2,000 one day.
Complete inbox. This is the only inbox copy of a GBA game that I own. It's cardboard. These things are always trashed, but this one is still here. And I opened it up once and looked at everything, and it's in there. There's another cartridge in there, but I also got a loose cartridge, so I didn't have to, play that one. I could just leave it in there. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have 2 of those. Over here is the PS2 games that I keep displayed. It's only 2 of them. It's Ghost Recon 1 and 2. 2 is not my favorite now because it was the first one to sort of, this version at least, goes more in the action territory. Not a fan. This game is so freaking amazing, and I want them to take notes from this and make the next Ghost Recon inspired by the original, because I think there's so much potential with this first game. So underrated. So good. I really like Ghost Recon 1. And I really wish Xbox added those to the backwards compatible games, because I want to play them so badly that way, but it's just not really feasible right now. Right here is all my loose cartridges. I've collected these over the years. There's quite a few different things in here. I'm going to call out what everything is because it might be hard to tell on camera. But we got Land Before Time on GBA.
Got that.
We got Larry Boy and the Bad Apple on GBA. That was an underrated movie from back in the day. Super Mario World on GBA. Played that a bunch. Honestly, I feel like I experienced a lot of the SNES through the Game Boy Advance. This is my copy of the Dora game on GBA. It is cursed because it does not have the cover anymore. So it's just blank. We got Super Mario 2 on GBA. That was the first Advance game. That's the version I played.
I remember playing that.
Yeah, it's the version I played growing up. We got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on GBA. Amazing game. This one I replayed on NSO, so I could play it on the TV. And honestly, it is so freaking good. It is, in my opinion, the best Mario RPG I've ever played. And I did play Paper Mario. I just haven't played the original RPG or Thousand Year Door, which, I don't know. I mean, there's remakes of both those on Switch now, so I should probably play those. But Superstar Saga is just so good. It's so funny and quirky, and it's genuinely hilarious. It's probably the most funny, or the funniest RPG, honestly, I've ever played. It's so good.
No.
So good.
No.
I randomly have Mega Man 5 Battle Network on GBA.
Those are expensive, right?
Probably. Honestly, that was a hand-me-down from Gavin, so I haven't played it. I have no connection to it. I just kind of have it. Final 2 GBA games is my copy of Fire Red. Now that is stupid expensive. That is a pricey game. And as far as I know, this is an original copy because I got this years and years ago when I was a kid, and it's a remake of 1, and it's really cool. It's really amazing to have that. That's definitely worth a lot now, so that's pretty sick. And then in my top 10 favorite game, just chuck it around, throw it out the window. In my top 10 favorite games of all time, Yoshi's Island on GBA. This version in particular, they changed a lot of the sound effects to be more in line with Yoshi's modern iterations now. But this is a wonderful, wonderful game. It's my favorite 2D platformer of all time, and it's just one of my favorite games. There's just so much nostalgia and connection to that from playing it when I was like literally like 3-4 years old.
Wow.
Some of my earliest gaming memories.
You are mid.
So, oh wait, I missed one. There's another GBA game. Oh yeah, Fear Factor for GBA. No one cares. No one cares. This is the stupidest thing. Let's do DS now. I have a bunch of loose DS games here. We got a random Transformers Autobots game. I played that a little bit, but that was something I got from Gunnar and Gabriel.
It was it had GTA stars in it.
GTA stars?
Yeah, they had like the star systems where if you did something bad, it would be stars.
That sounds a little familiar. I got a couple Lego games. Lego Star Wars 1 and Lego Star Wars 3.
Those games are terrible.
They are horrible on DS, aren't they? Like, they're so bad. Like, in Lego Batman, these games just aged so poorly. And they weren't even good to begin. I'm convinced they sucked even when they came out. Just the sounds of them is so cheap and...
like the cutscenes are
yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, on like home consoles, they're pretty good. Like, I had some good memories. Yeah, and you know, some of the old Star Wars ones, like they're good, but just like on DS, it was horrible. Worst versions ever. Anyways, some good DS games is Kirby Superstar Ultra. That's amazing. There's a huge value in this game. There's so many different like Kirby mini games and games in this one. Played this one a ton. Probably better than Squeak Squad, so I do like that one quite a bit. Rayman Raving Rabbids 2. This was the stuff back in the day. Everyone owned this, it felt like, that I knew. And we played that one a ton. It's like a mini-game collection, party game-esque type thing. It's very goofy, but so funny. This is my copy of Pokemon Pearl. I know it's incredibly sad. I don't have the original cover for it. I don't remember what happened to it, but that's Pokemon Pearl. I don't know, maybe I realized how bad of a gen it was and I just licked it right off, you know. Just
wait, the cover art?
Yeah, like on the thing, the cartridge is not there. It is Pokemon Pearl though. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Darkness. This was my entry into that franchise and that series, and I kind of like those games. I think they're cool. There's one on Switch, but I heard people were mixed on it. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because it was a 1-for-1 remake and the games haven't aged super well. They're just like weird dungeon crawler RPGs in the Pokemon franchise, which sounds cool, but I don't know. I haven't played it in forever, so I don't really know what I think about it now. Drawn to Life from THQ on DS. These games are like very basic 2D platformers, but definitely some nostalgia there. Played that a lot as a kid because it's cool because you could like make your own characters and play as them. That's kind of a cool idea. Super Scribblenauts. I own that one. Scribblenauts series is one is near and dear to my heart because played that a lot as a kid, and the main character's his actual name is Maxwell, and my middle name's Maxwell, and I just kind of made that connection as a kid, and I was like, oh man, he's got my name. You know, kind of made me relate to him a little bit.
That stupid Sheldon logic. It's like,
he's me. I am him. All right, then I got like a couple loose 3DS games. I got the Ghost Recon Shadow Wars on 3DS. I wish I had a case, but I just have the cartridge. One Piece Romance Dawn. This one is expensive now. This one's going up in price. I'm thankful I own it because I actually think it's good. I think it's
like an RPG.
It isn't like an RPG, but it's like kind of a pseudo action RPG. It's something I've never played anything quite like it. I actually really like this one where, you press like a button to attack and then it like stops time and lets you like chain combos in a very specific way, however you want. And you can play it as fast as you want. You can just like press the right combination, know what the buttons correspond to, and you just do cool combos all day. And it was really cool. I just got to a point where like it required grinding in order to like beat a boss, and I don't remember it really letting me grind much. So I kind of fell out of it. But really cool game. I actually think that concept is a great idea, and that's why I really want to play One Piece Odyssey later on when that comes to Switch, because I think One Piece as an RPG is like a perfect combination. I feel like that's untapped potential. Another one is, what is this called? Combat of Giants Dinosaurs 3D. Played that. It was like the first game I got on 3DS. It's like a dinosaur fighting game. Yeah, it's like broccoli in it. It's a stupid game. It's from Ubisoft? I didn't realize Ubisoft made that.
They really do suck.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but what are you gonna do? Scribblenauts Unlimited. That's my favorite Scribblenauts game. I really like this one. It's actually pretty good. I would get it on other consoles if it fit better, but like it works so well on a 3DS or a DS because you can like, you know, type out the, you know, whatever you're writing. On newer stuff though, like you'd have to, you know, work with like the in-game keyboard, and that's just, I don't imagine that's very good. So I haven't really gotten any other versions of it. And then Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. It's the only other one I have. Great game. I actually think it's one of the better 3DS games in the library. I think it's pretty good. You know, graphics aren't like amazing in it, which is, you know, to be expected, but I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool game overall, and I had fun playing that with Gunnar and Gabriel back in the day. Alright, so that is all of the games I have. Besides the Fire Emblem shelf, which we'll get to that in a minute. Now let's move on to my movies. We'll first start out with the DVDs. I keep those in this little pouch cubby thingy right here. What is it? There's a lizard in there.
What?
Bro, there's a lizard in here, dog.
Really?
Dude, I just saw him.
You get him. You have to get him.
Oh my gosh, there's a lizard in here.
There's a literal lizard.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go on screen for
He's
this.
literally in there.
Literally.
That scared the freak out of me.
A lizard.
There's a lizard in here.
Well, make sure he doesn't get out.
I don't want him to get out, dude.
Okay.
I'll get him, but he's tiny. Like, he won't bite me.
If he has a right hand, he'll bite you, but...
Oh my freak. That scared the crap out of me.
How do you get in there? You must...
He's in my DVDs. My DVDs.
Bruh.
He's in a weird spot.
Wait. Just head downstairs with it. Head downstairs with it.
No, I want to get him out.
Dump it all outside.
No, I'm going to get him out of here. We'll move it. We'll move King Kong.
Where is he?
He's
I see him. I see him. He's right there. In the corner.
How did you get in there?
Pick him up. Make sure he doesn't get out. He's just in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Don't be scared.
Oh my gosh, don't climb out! Get back down. No! Oh my gosh.
Try to stack it all on one side.
Woo, we got a boy! We got him! Woo! We got him!
Hold him. I'll hold him.
Don't get you to be bit, dog.
He bit me.
Dog, what are you doing?
He bit me. It didn't really hurt.
Alright, like, get him out of there. Alright, you got him? Oh, I was gonna show him on camera. Hey guys.
Okay.
There's a freaking lizard in my DVDs.
He bit me, but it didn't really hurt.
Gabriel got big, took one for the team.
That's a cool team.
Get him out of here. What the heck?
Whoa!
There's a lizard, dog.
There's a lizard. Can you just DVD?
Alright. Anyways, that was shocking. That was not planned. I know that's like the most staged thing ever. There's a freaking lizard in my DVDs. Like, there better not be another one in there. Like, might lose it. But anyways, let's just carry on. Hopefully, it didn't like take a dump or pee in there or something. That'd be unfortunate. So we have. How do you even continue from that, man? Like, I need a sip of water, dog. Like, I'm thirsty. Oh man. Can't make this crap up. Can't make it up. Alright, we'll carry on until Gabe gets back. Gremlins 1 and 2 on DVD. Wish it was Blu-ray, but Gremlins is good. It's kind of a classic, so I do like those games quite a bit. They're pretty good. The Thing 2011. The thing with this movie is that it's okay as a monster movie, but as a Thing movie, it's not very good. Because it's just like scary monster chasing people type movie. And it just ends up being less interesting by the end of it. Not a fan. I do have a DVD of King Kong, but I actually need to like get rid of that. I need to give that to someone else because I have that on 4K now. I have the original 1990s It, or 1990 version of It. Not very scary. I know it's scary to a lot of people back in the day though. It's kind of goofy. there's kind of, you know, cool memories with that one.
Oh my gosh.
Bro.
He bit me.
He did bite you. I was like, "Gabe, careful, dog." You like picked him up right from the front.
It didn't hurt, but bro, I literally like I didn't want to just let go of him because he was just gonna turn around and try to run up on me. So I was like this, and a bee was chasing me too. So I was just like, he literally got airtime. I was like, bye, and then he was like this.
He was like, "Ah."
He did like play the airtime score going up. He was like, the way I threw him was just like.
How did he get in my DVDs?
Mom was thinking that like maybe baby got it and dragged it up.
I guess it's possible.
But like in your DVDs, well, she could have dropped it anywhere. He just left it in there. But
I don't know how it got in here, dude.
like, bro, when I touched his face, when I touched his mouth, it's like he like hisses at me.
Yeah, they open their mouths. Yeah.
Dude, what a surprise, bro.
I know. I'm so glad we got that on camera too, dude. That's crazy. Anyways, we're in the DVD section, so we're gonna keep going. Let's do this. King Kong vs. Godzilla has a Blu-ray, but I only have the DVD. It's a dumb movie, but that's the point. It was really stupid and fun to watch with Gavin. Super Mario Bros. Movie on DVD, the 80s version.
You should keep that.
It's also really stupid, but me and Gavin had fun watching that. We enjoy watching like bad movies sometimes. It's kind of a thing with us. It's pretty good. Planet of the Apes, the Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton one. It's the worst one in the entire 9 movies that exist. I think it's 9 movies. Not good. Very, very not good. Not a fan. The original 1930s King Kong. I like this movie a lot, but I really want to own it on Blu-ray. DVD is not cutting it. I really like that one. I have a soft spot for it. The Thing from Another World, the original version, movie-wise, of this movie. Pretty good. I like it. Better than The Thing from 2011, I would say. I don't know. It's kind of classic. It's got some good visuals in it, but you know, not my favorite per se. It's just a cool movie. It's just a cool movie. Jurassic Park Collection. This is also a DVD. I want to replace this with 4K versions of these, but I'm really dying to get the first Jurassic Park on 4K, as that is a top 10 favorite movie of all time for me, and I have to have that on 4K. I'm a little mixed on the rest of the franchise, honestly, nowadays. I have a soft spot for like really kind of all of them because I like all of them. So I don't know, maybe I'll get the first one in 4K and I'll get the rest on Blu-ray or something. Honestly, it's probably what I'll do. Seven Samurai, I have a DVD of that. It's like 3 hours long, but I've never finished it. Even though I know it's a highly influential Akira Kurosawa movie. And I think it's cool. It's really fuzzy.
He did Thumbelina.
Super Mario World, the complete series, 2-disc set. If y'all remember this from back in the day, it's a double whammy right here of Mario action. This series isn't as good as the Super Mario Super Show. That one is much better, I think, than the World Series. But the World Series got some fun moments, you know. I definitely like some of those episodes. The one where they call him King Koopa. Well, the one where Bowser makes like his fast food restaurant is fun. I like that a lot. Really good. This is DVD, ain't it? I think it's DVD, yeah. I have the Land Before Time collection. All 14 films in one box set.
It's dumb.
This is DVD, I'm pretty sure. With all of them. I wish it was Blu-ray, but yeah, literally is all 14 of them in one place. And I grew up watching these movies. I grew up with a few different random ones. Me and Gabe watched all of them together.
Yeah.
And we made a tier list video on the channel a while ago. That was a funny video. I think a lot of them are definitely mid movies, not very good. But I think the first one is really good. Second one has a soft spot. Mysterious Island I grew up with. The 10th movie is actually good. I think the 10th one is actually like the perfect end for the franchise. Kind of lame that they had 4 more. I don't think they needed to exist. I think 1 through 10 was enough. I think it was enough. If they're gonna do that many, 10 was plenty. That was fine. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have all of them now. I think it's a great collection. If you grew up with those movies, it's amazing value. I got it for like $16 or something. All right, so now, actually, hold up, one more DVD. I lied. We got Thumbelina. This is so stupid, but it's a thin crust pizza. It's very tiny. Me and Gavin both grew up watching this movie. I don't know the history of it, where it came from, who made it, but it's just the weirdest little movie ever. And I like it. Me and Gabe rewatched it because I grew up watching it. It's a nostalgic movie for me. It's just weird. I like the art style though. It looks like it came from Japan. It's got to be like a Japanese studio that did it. I just don't know anything about it. I don't know the history of it. I just knew that I liked it and I ended up with it. I don't remember how much I paid for this, but I'm just glad I have it now. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but you'll have to let me know in the comments if you know what that is. Cool movie. All right, now we are on the Blu-rays. Let's do the new pickups. They're on the front here. So these are the new movies I got as of like past couple days, except for Fargo. Although I haven't watched Fargo yet. I really like No Country for Old Men. We'll get to that in a second. I haven't watched Fargo yet. It's another one of their movies. Got it for $4. HamiltonBook.com. I need to do a plug. This is not sponsored, but HamiltonBook.com is a great website to get like super cheap Blu-rays and sometimes 4Ks and DVDs for like stupid cheap. I got this for like $4 on there. What's another one? Right here, I got The King of Comedy for $4 on Hamilton Book. It's the same one you get on Amazon, but Amazon sells it for like $20. So I got this at a huge discount. Totally worth it. So I highly recommend checking them out if you want Blu-rays for a cheaper price. You can find some good ones on there. All right, so the rest of the new pickups, I finally got Chicken Little on Blu-ray. I kind of had to do this. My lawyers said I must, like if I want to still, keep my dignity on YouTube, I have to own this on Blu-ray, so I did that. Disc 1 has a lot of special features. This is hype. This is hype. So glad I own that on Blu-ray now. I got some Wes Anderson movies. I got Asteroid City. Haven't watched that one yet, but I just watched this yesterday. The Grand Budapest Hotel is amazing. Really good movie. A lot of these new movies I've watched, I'm going to talk about at the end of the year when me and Gavin do our ranking video again, because we really enjoyed doing that this past year. We're going to rank every movie we watched in the year. So a lot of these are going to be on that list. But let me just say, it's an amazing movie. Incredible. Probably A or S tier, maybe S tier. But yeah, I got that, Asteroid City, and I got The French Dispatch. I just watched this movie this morning as of recording this, and I'm a little torn on it. I think it was really good. I think it's better than I think it is. Then I had fun watching it. I don't like it as much as the other ones, though. I think it's probably my least favorite Wes Anderson movie, at least as of right now. I'm a little torn on it, at least as of, making this video. But I know it's really good. I can tell it's really good. Another one I got yesterday was the RoboCop trilogy. I just watched the first one last night. This movie is sick, dude. Like, this is, like, 80s was, like, the best era for movies in general, but especially sci-fi. And RoboCop 1, it just proves that, man. Like, it's a classic. And it's incredible how good the effects are to this day. Like, RoboCop's, like, head and the face, how they blended the special effects on him. It looks so real. It looks amazing. I was really impressed by that. And then a lot of, like, the body horror stuff, like, the limbs and stuff being, like, shot off and stuff. It looks crazy. Like, and it looks kind of real to me. I thought it looked great. Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. And then, like, the plot, with him, like, discovering who he is and figuring out, like, who he was before he, like, died and stuff. It's, like, crazy. I haven't watched the second or third yet, but I'm eager to watch those because I really like the first one. Let me add this one. I forgot about this. I got a couple Joaquin Phoenix movies. He's not a director. He's an actor. This guy, he's, like, my favorite actor of all time, probably. I fell in love with him when he played as Joker in the Joker movie. I also have that physically. incredible movie. That one's incredible. He's just an amazing actor, man. Like he just like, there's something about the way he acts. He really just gets into the character, like he is whoever, you know, he's playing as in the movies. I haven't watched this one yet. It looks amazing though. It's A24, black and white, 4x3. This is just my movie. I know I'm gonna adore it. And then I watched this the other day. I thought it was pretty good. Not really my type of movie normally, but Joaquin was in it, so I had to give it a shot. I think it was all right. It was pretty good. So yeah, that's some Joaquin movies there. Taxi Driver. Since we already talked about Joker and King of Comedy, Taxi Driver is in a similar vein as those. I really like this movie. I talked about it in the last ranking video. Robert De Niro is in this and the other two movies, so like it's almost like it's a little series. Secretly. Martin Scorsese directed this, and then Paul Schrader was the one who wrote it, and it's just incredible. I think it's much better the more time goes on. I want to rewatch it because it's a pretty dark movie, you know, it's pretty sad. It's definitely like a warning type movie like Joker was. So I highly recommend it, especially if like you like Joker, you'll like this one, and probably King of Comedy. King of Comedy is the most chill of the three though, I must say. Next, right here is the Wes Anderson stop motion double pack. This is amazing. I normally don't keep sleeves for my movies, but if it's like a cool collection like this, I have to. Like it's just too perfect. But inside it's just two Blu-rays, just Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. Great movies, man. Like Fox has got to be like, it's like my third favorite movie of all time, and it was like my cinematic awakening movie. Incredibly special to me. I really adore that movie. It's hideous though that sometimes when you package Blu-rays, they'll like glue it to the side of the spine. I despise that, and I will find whoever does that, and we're gonna have a talk because it's horrible. I hate it so much because it just like looks. You're not gonna see it on camera, but like it just looks hideous. It looks horrible. And I don't like that. I like uniformity in my collection, and I like things to look nice, at least from the spine and the front and everything, but we can't have everything we want in life. Anyways, we're gonna pick up this little stack here. We're like knee deep in the Blu-rays at this point. We have another Joaquin Phoenix movie in Her. A lot of people think this is like his top 3 Joaquin movies. I can't say I disagree. I've only ever seen like 4 movies he's been in, and I'm about to see 5. This movie is incredible. It was really, in some ways, like a difficult watch because it's just really complex and all that. But I want to rewatch it because I think it's a special movie. I think it's very special. I'm gonna put that over here with the Joaquin movies. I need to like make a section for those. Next, I have The Lobster. I really like this cover because the colors, it just looks weird. I like that. Another movie in similar vein as Her, I feel like. It's just weird. It's very goofy, and it's A24. I've never seen anything like it. It's very just strange. It almost has some of that Wes Anderson feel with just like how the characters are acting, because it's just very just direct and frank and just odd. And I kind of like that. Kind of like how weird it is. Office Space. This was a recommendation from Gavin, and then I got the Blu-ray of it. This movie's great. This movie's so great. It's a very often quoted movie. It's one of those like pop culture type movies a lot of people know about, and I can see why. It's hilarious and poignant, honestly. Like, it makes a lot of points about, you know, like office and just work life in general, and probably an A-tier movie. It's I'm not usually a comedy movie kind of guy, but I like this one. It's very funny, and it has one of my favorite clips. We fix the glitch.
We fixed the glitch.
It's really good. I know I just said I don't like comedies very much, but I had to talk about Click. This freaking movie. Y'all know, like, some Blu-rays have like this little latch on the side. That's kind of weird. All right, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you a story. Click is such a 50-50 movie for me. The first half of it is not very good, and it's very 2000s in not a good way. It's very cringy, weird, not my kind of weird. I like weird, but I don't like this kind of weird. It's just cringy weird. Not a fan. But by the end of the movie, I will admit, I almost cried. Like, it's that kind of movie where, like, by the end of it, like, it just, like, got real serious all of a sudden, and, like, it was very legit. It is the type of movie that you're gonna randomly really like, and you're not gonna understand it, but you're gonna feel it. All Click fans go through that feeling, and I feel like you will too if you just give it. Yeah, all the Click fans if you watch it. Rambo First Blood. This is an amazing classic movie. This is probably the best one in the series because after this, Rambo became just like sort of more generic action hero type stuff versus this one, even though the cover does not look like it's... I mean, this looks like that, but it's actually much more somber, more maybe psychological, more meditative potentially, words like that, you know. It definitely is making some points that feel important, especially for the time. And that ending monologue is amazing. That's the best part of the movie, hands down. Parked is pretty good. I like this movie. It's one of those random Hamilton book pickups for like $4. I like it. It's about a dude who's living in his car and he meets this other kid who's also doing that, and it's good. It's good. It's not a French film. I thought it was a French film. I actually have other French films I've seen, and I own in the collection. But this one's goofy, and goofy in the sense that like no one knows what this is. Like this is a random movie, but I kind of like it. I think it's actually better than I thought it was going to be. It's a decent watch. It's pretty enjoyable. I think some people might really relate to it more than I would, maybe, but I thought it was good. Here's my French films, actually. These are a couple of foreign films. Both these are good. I like both of them. I think, I don't know which one I like more, honestly. I wasn't following this one. I don't want to spoil it, but the ending has a bit of a twist that goes on, and then it recontextualizes the whole film, and you're like, oh, that's more, like, sad than I thought it was. It was not what I thought it was going to be. Maybe I was a little disappointed with it when all was said and done. Maybe. This one's cute. This one's cute. I like it.
I'm saying it's cute.
It's cute in the way that like that cover's sick. Like that's that's sick. You know, and that title, like that's cute. I like that stuff. But it. I don't know if I'm old enough yet. I feel like it's something that some people would really relate to. It is incredible. I actually do think this is a very good movie. Better than better in this one. It's subbed. Obviously, it's in French, but it's good. I liked it. It's very somber. The Matrix, a classic to end all classics. This is one of the best movies of all time and one of the best action movies of all time. My copy looks like it's 90 years old. It's very wrinkly up on the front here, which is weird. But this is one of the best action movies of all time. I very much like it. It's incredibly good. I know Gavin is a little torn on this one, but this isn't Gavin's video. This movie is really good. I recommend it. I actually think it's incredible. Maybe the writing and some of it's a little goofy. Sure. But like, you gotta see what this movie was at the time. You gotta see what it is, what it stands for, dude. Like, it's such an important movie, man. Like, it's so good. Incredibly good. Matrix is amazing. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. This is one of my favorite movies, man. Like, maybe not a top 10 necessarily, but I had to get the Blu-ray because this movie is beautiful. I think, especially the way it ends, you know, the quotes for days in this movie. This is a movie for people who feel stuck and they really want to do something crazy. Like, this is the movie for you. I feel like this is a sleeper hit. More people need to watch it. Ben Stiller acts in it, and he directed it. That's insane. He did a great job, and I think everyone should check this movie out. Underrated. Hacksaw Ridge. I haven't watched this copy yet, but this is actually a war movie I can get behind. I think it's pretty amazing.
Because it has Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield is amazing. He's also way older than I thought he was. That dude's like 40 or something. Like, it's insane, but it's a good movie. I like All It's Quiet on the Western Front. That's also probably a better movie overall, a better war movie. That's a really good war movie. I don't have that in the collection. I need to get that. But Hacksaw Ridge was like the first war movie, a traditional war movie I watched, and I like it. But All It's Quiet on the Western Front is really good. I need to get that one, honestly. A 4K, that would be really cool.
And then maybe watch it because I haven't seen it.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This cover is dumb and lame compared to the original poster, but this movie is awesome. I have such a soft spot for this movie. Everyone doubted me when I said this was actually good. Sometimes you just want a movie that's just fun to watch, and it knows it's stupid, it knows it's goofy, but you just want to watch something like that. That's what this is. I highly recommend this for people who just want to watch a very visually creative movie that is very goofy. It's meant to be cheesy, and that's part of the fun, is that they're taking the situation seriously, but the situation is really wild and off the wall, and that's part of the enjoyment of it. So Killer Clowns is good, man. I think it's sleeper hit.
Yeah, do a let's play the game.
Oh boy, I don't know about that. Moving on, let's hit up some of these bigger collections I have here, as well as some other random movies. Pet Sematary. Funny thing is, I use a clip from this movie in every single one of my videos.
Want to talk to Gage?
That's actually where that clip comes from. If you didn't know that, this video is going to start with it, or already has started with it. But every single video starts with that clip where the little girl is talking over the phone, and that is from this movie. It's a very dark movie. It's very sad. The theme is all about death in some way. I know some people read the books, are a little torn on the movie, but either way, man, I just got a soft spot for that movie. I just like it. Eraserhead. This is a Criterion Collection version. Criterion movies are stupid expensive, but they're high quality. You can't deny that. I don't like how this isn't uniform with the rest of my collection, but it is also very premium looking. It comes with a little booklet in here. It's got a little scenes from the movie, and then it's got a little book in here as well, and then the disc. So it's very cool as a collector's piece. The movie itself, I think, is really good. When Gavin went to rank this last year, he ended up putting it in its own tier because he couldn't rank it. I can't wait to rank this because I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's really good. It's the weirdest movie ever. It's very offbeat, very odd. I think it's a bit of a masterpiece though. Very good movie. The Child's Play collection. I got sick one day earlier this year and I binge watched all 7 of these in a 24-hour period. That was the best 24 hours of being sick in my entire life. It was a lot of fun. 7 movies. I ranked a lot of these last year. Honestly, I'm going to say it now. Bride of Chucky's probably the best one. I think I would actually raise it up a tier wherever I put it, because I think it only gets better the more I think about it. Now, I'm dying to rewatch it. First 3 movies are classic. Third one's a little weaker compared to the first 2. Seed of Chucky's Sin Against Mankind should have never left the silver screen. Should have never even happened. It was a bad idea. It was the worst thing they ever did. The rest of the movies are kind of okay, but I want to watch the TV show. I like Chucky. This is a fun collection. I actually kind of like the character. I think he's very funny. He's best when he is doing one-liners and he's acting a little goofy. I kind of like that. Seventh Seal. This is another, it looks like DVD, but it's actually a Blu-ray in here. It's another Criterion collection right here. This is my first Ingmar Bergman film. That guy seems like he really knows how to make a movie, because this movie is peak. It is amazing.
It's not S tier.
It is incredible. It's all about death in some way, and it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. What can I say? It's a masterpiece. I'm gonna rewatch it. It's incredible. This is a series, but this is Avatar: The Last Airbender on Blu-ray. Probably my favorite show of all time, if not the best show of all time. Enough said. Planet of the Apes. I got all of the good ones here. We got the original 5 movies here on Blu-ray with the sleeve. I did keep that one. It's a pretty snazzy little collection there. I like these a lot. The first one is currently in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I adore that first movie. And then I have the Blu-ray of this, the trilogy, which is just 3 Blu-rays kind of in one there. It's a really cool collection. I mean, it's pretty sick, and those are great movies. I can't wait for the new one that's coming out. It's actually coming out a week or 2 from today as of recording this video, so Very excited about that. That'll definitely be on the ranking later on this year when we do that. Oh, a DVD I technically missed the first time is the Pokemon original Kanto series. I forgot to mention this. This is technically one of the DVDs, so it's not going to be in the DVD section now of the video, unfortunately, but that's okay. 4x3 DVD, whole thing. It's 3 DVD copy things in there, and it's the whole thing. It's all a Kanto, at least, and it's the one I grew up with. The show itself is not that good, looking back on it, like objectively, but the nostalgia's there, man. It's a great value. Like, you get so much value out of this box set. I would really like to own some of the other ones and just watch these from time to time. I think some of the later episodes get a little better, and there's just some classic episodes that are just so freaking nostalgic to me. It's just not the type of show that I think is very good if you like binge watch it all the way through. I don't think that's going to be very fun, but I think an episode here or there, just pop it in, I think it's a lot of fun, man. It's so good. Next up, we got some more movies here. Going back to some Blu-rays. We have the Alien collection. This is the 6-film collection, not the quadrilogy. I wanted to get all of them on here. Until freaking Alien Romulus comes out, and then this becomes not a collection anymore of all of them. That's kind of stupid, but I am happy they're making another movie. Alien is one of my favorite like horror / sci-fi franchises of all time. I have such a soft spot for this series. All the aliens on here is really cool. The first 2 are the best ones. They're the peak of the franchise. 3 is like the sort of character study movie with sort of religious imagery and symbolism. And then Resurrection's the fun kind of adventure movie of the franchise. And then Prometheus is the sort of philosophical creation, very deep sci-fi. And then Alien Covenant is that again, but less focused and kind of all over the place. I would probably give Covenant a D tier, not an F tier if I could go back to that video we made. Great franchise though. Honestly, even if a lot of these movies after the first 2 are kind of mid or not even that good, I just like them. I think they're fun to watch, and I actually really like these movies quite a bit, which I can't say about the Predator movies. I also got this Blu-ray collection, and this has 4 movies. The only one that's missing is Prey. I did watch Prey on Hulu though. I just don't have a physical of it. But Predator is not as good as Alien overall. There is some good in here. There's some really good Predator movies. The first one is a classic. I ended up really not liking it as much as I hoped I would. I thought the effects have aged really bad. I think the invisibility effect on the Predator looks really bad, actually.
The Predator themselves probably look really good.
Yeah, but I think the visuals of the Predator itself is amazing, but you only really see it without the cloaking device, like towards the end of the movie. And it looks great then, but like most of the movie is it being invisible, hopping around, and it looked bad. And I'm not normally the type of person that's like, oh, that looks cheesy, like just because the movie's old. I mean, I just raved over RoboCop, and that movie's like 87, and those effects look better than most stuff today. Like, it's shocking how good it looked. But Predator, I don't know, whatever they did to make the invisibility effect, it just looks bad, man. Like, it actually looks pretty rough. And to me, I feel like it doesn't age as well as people like to think it does. But with that being said, I do think it's a classic, and if I rewatched it, I actually think I would like it more, because I think I after thinking about it, I think I get more of what it's going for in the movie. Predator's alright, it's pretty good. Predator 2, it's more of the first one, but it's in a city, it's a little weird. It's got weird, like a sci-fi city thing, dystopian city going on. I liked it, I thought it was entertaining. Predators, I think, is the best in the series, and I think it's kind of like a hidden gem. I think it's a little... I need to kind of save some of my extended thoughts for that video we do later this year, but I do think Predators is the best one, and I do think it's thematically the most on point, and I actually think it's doing some interesting things with what it's saying as a movie. So I do like Predators. And then the Predator is weird because it turned every character into the funny character from like the first one, which that goofy character, I don't remember his name, but that goofy character, the real life human, was the one who directed the Predator. Has like Keegan-Michael Key in it. It's really a dumb movie, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It just has like dumb Marvel writing in it, but I do think it's cool. Like the Predator gets a machine gun at one point. That's sick. That's like the best part of the movie where he's just like using an AK and he's like shooting people. That's awesome. I like that. I have the Mario movie on Blu-ray. Kind of wish I had the 4K. I may have jumped the gun on that one, but it's the Mario movie. It's so fun, and I knew I had to own that one physically. Your Name. This was like the anime movie to end all anime movies back in the day. I ended up with it. I've watched it one time. I think it's beautiful. It's probably better than I would give it credit for, realistically, because I remember it being all right, but it's just hard to go back to it for some reason for me. It's pretty good. Next up is actually somewhat of a series of films. It's all of my. I would hold them all up, but you're not gonna really see all of them. But this is like my One Piece movies. So we'll go through these real quick. We got the TV specials, Nebulandia. It's kind of a weird name, but it's a TV special, but it's basically a movie, and it's pretty good. It's one of the better TV specials, I think. It brought in some classic characters being seen forever, like Foxy. That's kind of cool. Weird, though. It's kind of weird. I liked it, though. 3D2Y. I was extremely excited about this because I watched this before I saw the rest of the time skip, or we got to the time skip, and this in between. It's forgettable, but I thought it was okay. East Blue. This is a really nice thing to have to just show people that like want to get into the series. This like condenses the bullet points. This is the abridged version of like the first 60 some episodes and the first saga or arcs of pretty much first saga of the franchise being in East Blue. So nice thing to have in the collection. And then we move on to the theatrical films that I have. I have Strong World. That was the first one I got. Great movie. I like this one. I like everything they did with Nami's character, and she was definitely the focus in this one, and I really liked it. I actually thought it was really heartwarming, especially how the movie ended and her connection with the rest of the crew. Kind of surprising. It was weird, but how they focused on her so much, but I thought it was cool. It was really cool that they did that, because Nami is definitely underrated and underutilized these days. Then there's Z, probably the best written film out of the One Piece films that are out there. I think Z is the best villain. He's amazing. Visuals are also incredible. Has some good music in there too. Really good, really good. This was when we were in the time skip, and I was very hyped to watch all of these when I got to them. So very cool movie there. I don't own Gold. I did own it at one point. I watched it, but it's basically like Dressrosa knockoff, because it takes a lot from Dressrosa as an arc, because that's the arc that was going on when they made the movie. I didn't like that movie. I actually didn't like it so much I sold it, because I felt like it actually wasn't. I felt like it didn't feel like the Straw Hats. Like I felt like they weren't acting the way that they normally would in certain situations, and I was annoyed, and I didn't like that movie. Maybe I wouldn't feel so harshly against it now if I watched it, but what are you gonna do? Then there's Stampede. I like this one a lot. This movie is fire. I actually, this might be my personal favorite One Piece movie, because I think it's the most like entertaining and fun and just action-packed one. Has the new visual style of like the new series, or not the new series, but the new like episodes that the new arc basically. They've adapted a new semi-new art style, and they've adapted that into this movie, and it looks great. Actually, it looks incredible. So Stampede. Really fun movie. I actually really like that one. I think that one is a good celebration of the series as well. I like it quite a bit. Next up, we have a couple more collections, but these are also DreamWorks movies. And first up, we got Megamind. That's just Megamind. This is a great movie. This is one of my favorite movies ever, probably. Megamind is a submersive masterpiece. It's a submersive masterpiece. Megamind's actually pretty amazing. Not even gonna lie. If Megamind came out nowadays, it would be regarded higher than it is now, because superheroes weren't. They were just getting started when Megamind came out, and I feel like now it's so different as a superhero movie, and people would like that. But yeah, unfortunately, people didn't like it much when it came out. Other collections, I've How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, and the Shrek collections.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah, 4, 3, and 3. Great movies. How to Train Your Dragon is probably my favorite DreamWorks franchise. Kung Fu Panda's next, and then I think Shrek is a little overrated, but I think there's some good ones in there. First one's amazing. Fourth one I really liked. Second one everyone always talks about. Third one's horrible. Second one was pretty good. I liked it. But yeah, I'm glad I own these because I actually really like DreamWorks quite a bit. I think they make some good movies, but they also make some really stupid movies at the same time. It just depends on what day you catch them, basically. So I'll just go through these in order. We have Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I mean, what is there to say? Like, Ghibli films, man, like, I own every single one except The Boy and the Heron, but that one's on pre-order now. It comes out like early July. And I'm so excited because I'm definitely going to add that because that's the only one I'm missing. Because I own even the Red Turtle. Like I'm that kind of guy. Yeah. So Nausicaa is the first movie. Quite amazing. After that, we have Castle in the Sky. This is another good Miyazaki film. I think it's a little overrated personally, if you ask me. Though I'm not crazy about this one. My Neighbor Totoro. Such a cute movie. I really adore this one quite a bit. The reason why I'm not like focusing on these ones too much is because I did make a ranking video, and I've talked about Ghibli a lot, I feel like, on the channel and just different videos and ways, and so that's why like I'm not focusing too much on these because I've definitely talked about them quite a bit already. But we have Only Yesterday. It's another Isao Takahata film, which he's one of my favorite directors of all time. Grave of the Fireflies, probably his best movie, or second best movie. Really good though. Kiki's Delivery Service, way better than I thought it was going to be. That's a top 10 for me. We have Ocean Waves. I think it's better than people think it is. It's highly underrated in my opinion. I actually think it's pretty good. Porco Rosso, also underrated. This is one of the most fun Ghibli films to watch. Super good. Princess Mononoke, it's a classic. It's a masterpiece. It's Mononoke. Pom Poko, a very weird Takahata film, but very good at the same time. I like Pom Poko. Whisper of the Heart, if I were to go back to my ranking video, this is the one where I feel like I should have put it in A tier versus B tier, so I think I may have messed that one up a little bit. But Whisper of the Heart it's amazing. It's a Kondo movie, and he only made one, if I'm not mistaken. But he is quite amazing, so he did a good job. Cat Returns, it's the most C-tier Ghibli film. It's a cute adventure film. It's good. That's all it's trying to be.
Cat's Walking is great.
Yeah, it is also like probably one of the more funny Ghibli films. Spirited Away. It's Spirited Away, probably the best animated film ever made, according to most people.
Not me.
Not me. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Not me either. Another stack here. We got Ponyo. I had a steelbook of this. I actually do still have it, but it's in like storage because I just wanted everything to be uniform, so I replaced it with just the regular box version. Ponyo is my first Ghibli film. It has a very special place in my heart, and I really like it. I think it's very adorable, but it's definitely not one of Miyazaki's best movies. There's Howl's Moving Castle. Very conflated movie, way too much going on, but I do think it has some very underrated aspects. Then there is Arrietty. I think this is the most overrated Ghibli film. It just does not deserve the hype that it gets. I don't think it's actually as good as many people like to think it is. I think the animation's nice. I think the characters are bland and very uninteresting. They're not very developed well. Not even like the main characters are. The soundtrack is very un-Ghibli-like, and not in a good way, and not in, at least in an interesting way, or at least in some aspect where I can respect it, like with from Up on Poppy Hill, which I don't like that soundtrack overall either, but I do think it's slightly better than this. Not my thing, not a fan. Who directed that? That's Yonebayashi. He directed another one that was actually good. We'll get to that. But Earthsea, when I did that ranking video, I so badly wanted to put this somewhere else other than second worst, but it just is the second worst. Like next to Earwig, it's the worst one. It's just, there's no getting around it, unfortunately. It's not very good. It has a few good scenes. There's a few good scenes that shocked me how good they were, but the rest of the movie is bad. Not very good. I'm glad I own it though. From Up on Poppy Hill, like I said, it's a C tier. It's a low C tier for me. I think it's got some underrated aspects, but I do think it's overall pretty weak compared to a lot of other Ghibli films. It doesn't feel like a Ghibli film in certain ways, but it definitely is. It definitely is Goro Miyazaki's most Ghibli-like film. It definitely is closer than the other two were. His best movie for sure. And then there is The Red Turtle. I think this movie is far better than most people think it is. I think The Red Turtle is actually a bit of a masterpiece and is deserving of more recognition. Very, very good. Tale of Princess Kaguya, my second favorite movie of all time. Sometimes I like to say it's my first favorite movie of all time. It's definitely the best Ghibli film, my favorite Ghibli film. It is the film of all time. It is incredible. An absolute classic. My neighbors, the Yamadas, Nanako got shafted. I'm not happy about that. I'm going to put that on my tombstone. Then we have the final three. When Marnie was there, Yonebayashi redeemed himself with this one. Far better. This is an A-tier movie. Spoiler alert, because we are going to talk about this at the end of the year, because I did watch this year. Amazing movie. I think Marnie is highly, highly underrated, even though some people really like it. I just feel like it's better than I ever thought it was going to be. Wind Rises. This is Gabriel's favorite Ghibli film. I also adore it. I think it's the way to do a biopic. I think it's incredibly imaginative, creative, and has so much to say about creation and being an artist in some way. And I adore this movie. I think it's actually incredibly beautiful. The worst Ghibli film and one of the worst films of all time, but not the worst film of all time, that goes to Seed of Chucky. But this is definitely swap and spit with that one, not gonna lie. It's definitely swap and spit.
Gage, it's probably worse.
No. Seed of Chucky is the worst thing humanity's ever made. So that's the end of the Ghibli collection. I think I can put these back on the shelf safely. I think I can safely put these back on the shelf. But like I said, I'm only missing The Boy and the Heron. That comes out later this year. I'll definitely pick that up just to keep the collection going. Make sure I get all of them, because I do want to own all of them. But now, moving on to non-Ghibli movies down there. First Reformed, my favorite movie of all time. It was directed by Paul Schrader, the same dude who wrote Taxi Driver, and is an A24 published film. It is incredible. This cover is, I like it, but I feel like people who see this and look at the back, it looks kind of generic. It is anything but. It is amazing. It's a psychological masterpiece, and I relate to it incredibly much. So this is one of my favorite movies ever made. I'm gonna go ahead and slide that one back. I want to keep that one safe. Let me also check, make sure we're still recording. Next up is Akira. This is another top 10 for me. One of the best sci-fi movies, one of the best movies of all time. Whenever I think about this movie, I think it is like the quintessential sci-fi film. I feel like it is my favorite sci-fi film of all time, and there's just something so magically disturbing about it, and I think it is wonderful. It is quite the masterpiece, and there's never been a movie quite like Akira, and it did come out in the 80s, so I'm telling you, 80s is the best era for sci-fi. After that, No Country for Old Men. I know we mentioned this earlier when we talked about Fargo. This movie is a masterpiece. I just rewatched it the other night with Gunnar, and it still holds up. It's still incredible. I highly recommend putting subtitles on for this one. It's a little hard to understand through some of the accents in this movie, but Javier Bardem is he's incredible. I fell in love with his performance in this movie the same way I did with Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. I need to watch more movies with this guy in it, because he is like, he's probably my favorite villain in any movie I've ever seen, is Javier's character, Anton Chigurh, in this movie. Incredible. Totally stole the show and blew my mind when I watched it. Absolutely incredible. Another movie is Nomadland. I watched this on Hulu, and I've not watched this Blu-ray copy just yet. Nothing really interesting on the inside. Haven't watched it yet, at least on like the physical Blu-ray I got. It's not in the best shape. I did get it new, but it's also wrinkly on the front. A lot of Blu-rays are randomly like that, which I'm not happy about it, but unfortunately it's how it is. The movie itself, I don't want to say too much, because this is one that I am going to talk about at the end of the year when we go over the ranking, but I bought it for a reason. Like I said, I watched it on Hulu, and I thought it was so amazing I had to own it on Blu-ray. And it is definitely an instant classic for me, and it's potentially one of my top 10 favorite movies. I want to rewatch it before I commit to saying that. All right, guys, so the camera actually cut out, so I'm now recording this a little bit after the last clip. So I believe where it cut out was pretty much on Nomadland, but yeah, this is an amazing movie. It's extremely good. So I'm just gonna try to like pick up pretty much where we left off and just try to like, I'm gonna end up, because what happened was like I ended up going up until starting the 4K section and we weren't recording, so I'm gonna try to like repeat pretty much what I said, but let's just do this. You know, the best way to do it is to just keep going, to power through. So next after Nomadland is the Jordan Peele collection. I really like that it says Jordan Peele on the side, and then you know, because like this is, you know, his movies. That's the director, and then the the 3 movies on the front. These are great movies. I think Us is probably my favorite, but then Get Out's probably the best, and Nope's probably the most entertaining. Really good collection. Then after that, we have the Paddington movies, 1 and 2. I really like how these 2 look uniform. There's different versions of the box art that doesn't look like this. I chose this one because they look pretty similar. These are probably the best like family movies I've ever seen, because they're really, you know, delightful and imaginative, and they have a lot in common with like Wes Anderson movies. So I think they're actually really, really underrated, really amazing. Good Will Hunting is an amazing movie. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's dream movie to make. They wrote this movie, and they both starred in it. I think it's fantastic. Rob Williams is in it as well. The title has a dual meaning, and it's just a beautiful movie. I can't wait to rewatch it eventually, because it's quite fantastic. After that, we have Dead Poet Society, a highly philosophical movie. Has a lot to do with, like, you know, seizing the day is the big quote from this one. It's a really important movie, I think. It's a very beautiful one. Like I said, it's very philosophical and really good drama film. Amazing. Rob Williams is also in that one. He does an amazing job. Then we have the 2 final Blu-ray movies we're going to talk about. Is Mitchells vs. the Machines. I think this is an S-tier movie, S-tier comedy, extremely funny, and it is just one of the best family movies. We had this one in the house on DVD, but I decided to rebuy it on Blu-ray just to have it, and it is just always funny. It's always amazing to rewatch this movie. Super, super good. Whoops. And the last Blu-ray is Rango. This is a movie that Gabriel likes probably a little more than I do, but I do also really like it. I think it's a bizarre masterpiece. It has Johnny Depp in it. What's cool about this one, I mentioned this in the original recording, or at least what I thought was recording before, is that most 3D animated films, or most animated films, try to make characters that are very marketable, and, you know, toys and plushies and things like that. And they try to make them cute and cuddly. Rango did the opposite. Like, Rango himself is very unsymmetrical. He's not very symmetrical because, like, his eyes are different sizes and his neck looks weird. He just is an odd looking dude. And then all the other characters are pretty hideous looking, but that's the point. It fits with the aesthetic. So I really like how different this one is compared to most 3D animated films, or animated films in general. So I actually think it's quite underrated. More people should check this one out. It is very good. Highly recommended. All right, so we're gonna move on to the 4K section. This is as far as I made it before when I thought we were recording. But we're gonna just do this one, and then we'll be where we were originally. 4K movies. So the first one is King Kong, the Ultimate Edition on 4K. We've mentioned this movie many times along the way of the collection.
I know it's called the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, Ultimate Edition.
Why does that sound like a video game edition?
Well, the reason why it's the Ultimate Edition is because it has a bunch of special features, but it also includes the extended cut. Now, a lot of people think this movie is too long as it is, and I can understand the idea that it is a little overindulgent in its runtime. I think the beginning hour of the movie before they get on the boat takes a little too long, but I actually prefer the extended cut. One of the scenes that they added was a scene with a Triceratops, and I really like that scene because the original 1930s King Kong had a Triceratops scene, kind of similar. So I really liked that. I thought it was a cool nod to the original, and I just preferred it. There was other little scenes they added in there, and little lines and stuff. I overall thought it was the better movie, personally. But I also have always had a soft spot for this movie and all of its media surrounding it. So this is just one of my favorites. I could honestly make a King Kong shelf with everything I have. But yeah, this is an amazing collector's 4K disc. Very much enjoyed that one. My 4K section really is much smaller than the rest of my collection. I'm still working on building it out, but I definitely have a good couple of movies over here that are pretty amazing. Another 4K is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I bought this one after buying the Blu-ray, and before that we owned the DVD, which I didn't buy, but we had it in the house, and I've been through a lot of copies of this movie. I got the 4K because this is an S-tier amazing animated film. It is quite a masterpiece, and I think it gets better every time. And I haven't watched the 4K yet. I've only seen the Blu-ray, but the 4K is going to be quite exciting when I get around to watching it. If you haven't watched this movie, you gotta watch it. It's probably the best standalone DreamWorks film. After that, we have To Kill a Mockingbird. This is an S-tier film. I'm going to talk about the end of the year, but I have to say it. I just got to say that. Like, if you haven't seen this movie, you got to watch it. It is so incredibly amazing. It's got a pretty long runtime. It's like over 3 hours, I'm pretty sure, but it is genuinely amazing on all fronts. You know, there's so much about this movie that upon a rewatch, it just got better for me, and I genuinely think it's fantastic. The 4K looks amazing. This is amazing. This is just such a good movie. It's way better than I thought it was ever going to be, and so much so I had to buy my own copy of it because I watched it originally from my parents' copy of the movie, but this one so much better.
Believe it or not, we had to watch that for school.
Yeah, you watched it for school, which a lot of people read the book for school and stuff, but I think the movie's actually really amazing. Quite the masterpiece, that one. Next, I ended up getting The Lion King on 4K. I had seen this as a kid. Obviously, I think pretty much any kid from like the early 2000s and 90s watched this, but I remember watching the live action movie, and yeah, like I knew it was soulless, but I could see that there was a really good story there, and it kind of made me interested in going back and watching the original. So I ended up getting the 4K of it because it wasn't super expensive, and I can confirm it is very good. I'm going to talk about this one at the end of the year, but it is a very good movie. I think The Lion King is definitely one of the quintessential best in-house Disney films. I prefer Ghibli in a lot of ways, obviously, but Lion King's good. It is a good movie. It's really good. Not a personal favorite by any means, but I did quite like it. Next is Parasite. This is a Bong Joon-ho movie. That man knows how to direct a movie. This is incredible. It's saying so much. The movie is so artful. It's a masterpiece. It has so much depth to it, and there's like that moment in this movie where, I'm not going to spoil what it is, but it just like changes and it becomes wild. It's just the weirdest thing that's going on, and it really changes and recontextualizes everything, where you're like, oh, this isn't just kind of like a semi-lighthearted movie about this family, you know, it's a little more serious. And I think this is genuinely deserving of all the awards that it was nominated for and won. Parasite is instantly one of the just best movies, just period. It's just so good. I absolutely adore that one. And that one will probably be on the end of the year list for Gavin, because Gavin's going to have a ranking videos as well on the All 4 podcast, which y'all should go subscribe to if you haven't.
Plug.
Shameless plug. He'll probably talk about it because he watched it this year. I watched it last year and ranked it. Actually, no, I think he did rank it last year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, just go watch those. Hear us talk about it a little more. But after that, we have Stand By Me. This is Stephen King's favorite film adaptation of any of his books, which is a cool fact, and I can kind of see why he likes it so much, because this is a genuinely beautiful movie. It's just really sweet and sentimental, and I feel like this is the type of movie that a lot of people will look back on fondly, you know, if they watched it as a kid and they're watching it now, the 4K version. I feel like it's really going to resonate with a lot of people. I know with me watching it for the first time, this was one that I feel like I got to rewatch in a little while, maybe later on in the year or in a couple of years, give it another shot. But I genuinely adore this movie. I actually do think that there's a lot of beautiful stuff here, and it's also really cool how Joaquin Phoenix's brother, River Phoenix, was in this one, and that's just cool. You know, he's much younger at the time, and it's just quite incredible. You know, it's incredible to see that, and it's just a crazy premise. You know, these kids are like just going on a trip. They're not driving in it. They're literally just walking, and they're gonna go find a dead body that everyone's looking for. So it's quite crazy. It's quite an interesting story. It was based on a short story that Stephen King did, and yeah, I genuinely think that one's quite good. Next up is The Truman Show. This is definitely one of my favorite 4Ks. I watched it for the first time with this version, and man, this is an incredible movie. Like, there's so much depth to this one as well, and it's crazy because it's a Jim Carrey movie. Like, he's normally the funny guy, right? Like, he does like comedies and stuff, but this is really it's kind of like a dark comedy. Like, it really is kind of messed up, like what's going on here. But at the same time, the movie's saying so much with that. So really, I feel like this is probably the best Jim Carrey movie. Even though I haven't seen all of them, you know, I just feel like this is probably his best movie he's ever starred in. It's incredible. It really is genuinely incredible. There's also some amazing quotes from this movie, and amazing lines and moments that definitely stick with you. And you're like, wow, that definitely taught me a lesson. I'm not going to forget that. And then after that, we have another one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time, and for a long time it was my favorite movie of all time, The Thing. This is John Carpenter's The Thing. What is there left to say? This is probably the best horror movie ever made. This is a masterpiece in horror filmmaking, and it is genuinely incredible. The special effects, I'm not someone who like looks back at old 80s and 90s movies and says like, oh man, like they look so cheesy, it's so goofy, you know, all these effects, they look so dumb. And no, like I'm the type of person that, like, you know, sometimes it just doesn't age well, but most of the time, if done right, practical effects like this make the movie age not a single day. This movie has not aged at all, and that is incredible because it's so old. It was 1982. This is such an old movie, but it has stood the test of time all these years later. So it's an incredible movie. Very much enjoyed it. And it's definitely in the top 10. It used to be my favorite, but it's still in the top 10 somewhere. Another 4K I have is Pixar's Soul. I think Pixar has fallen off a cliff in terms of their quality of movies lately. They have been pretty bad, but I think Soul was kind of an outlier. I think Soul is actually fantastic. I have some gripes with this movie, and I think I talked about it in my ranking video earlier this year, but Soul is solidly an A tier for me. I think it is a masterpiece, but I do think there's a few things in here that weren't thought through well enough. I think there's a few things that doesn't make a ton of sense. I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times. I've seen it a bunch, but at the same time, even though I have, you know, my negatives about it, I do think that there is what they were going for in this movie. In a lot of ways, they succeeded at it. Is just how beautiful the meaning of the movie is. You know. Oh my gosh! Sorry. Oh, I just like chipped the I just chipped the bottom. Oops. I think I did that. Well, now I know how they get chipped all the time. It's because of morons like me, like throwing their discs, their cases around. Gosh. Okay. But yeah, just like what the movie was saying, you know, with it not being so much about like, you know, just having a one-track mind about, you know, accomplishing one thing, but instead, you know, like enjoying the journey of life, so to speak. It was genuinely beautiful. Very good movie. After that, we have Edge of Tomorrow. This was a movie I got because I remember watching it back in the day and thinking it was really good, and it was also really cheap. It was a really cheap 4K disc to get, and you know, it doesn't say it on the front, but it is. It does also include just a standard Blu-ray, which is good. I do like that one. It includes both. This is a good movie. I like Emily Blunt quite a bit, and Tom Cruise is also really good in a lot of the things he's in. This is just a fun action movie. It's much better than I feel like people think of it as or give it credit for. It's very entertaining. 4K looked amazing. Like, honestly, the visuals of this one were far better than what I remember them being back when I watched it the first time. So that's a good one. It's a good action movie. And then the last movie in my collection is Forrest Gump. This is another top 10 for me. I don't think I've cried in a single movie as much as I cried during this one. There was multiple moments where I don't think any movie has really has been as relatable in a sort of nostalgic kind of way. Where this one is, where, you know, a lot of movies, you kind of feel certain things while you're watching it. It could be good or bad, but this is a movie where while you're watching it, you really start to feel like you're living a life. Like you have that feeling of you know, looking ahead, looking back, you know, living in the present moment, and kind of all that. It's hard to describe that feeling, but there is a feeling of you know, sort of just growing up and those memories when you look back on them that this movie captures perfectly. And it was devastating. I genuinely think this is one of the most sad movies I've ever seen. It broke my heart constantly. And I also think it has so much to say. There's multiple important lessons in this movie that I learned. And honestly, the crazy thing is that there's a movie I bought in my collection originally, and I ended up really not liking it, is The Pursuit of Happiness, which is currently not in my collection anymore because I ended up not really liking it a whole lot. Hold up. This thing, I hate when this happens. Like the discs like don't actually click in, so they kind of like slide around. I kind of despise that. So I gotta be careful about that. But as I was saying, Pursuit of Happiness, part of the reason why I didn't like that movie is because sort of the story theming on paper was fine. I think at the time it was good. It's just like the idea of like work hard, you know, succeed, you know. But it was sort of like it wasn't anything. I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to say it's like propaganda necessarily, but it definitely feels like it's the type of thing where it's like, you know, just do really well at a company and, you know, you'll be the CEO before long. Like, that's just kind of unrealistic. And I was annoyed that was what the movie was getting at, just work hard, you'll succeed. Because, I don't know, I mean, sometimes it's fine if movies do that, but I think it's more interesting if movies have something, you know, a little more unique than that. You know, something that feels a little more attainable. You know, you can't really affect that always. You know, some of the hardest workers are the ones who will stay at the bottom for the rest of their lives. And, you know, that's why I think that story theme's just kind of lame, kind of stupid. But with this, you know, Forrest Gump, like, there's definitely, you know, moments where it's just about this guy who he just does things, you know, and I feel like this is sort of the proper way or the better way of doing that, because there's so much this movie's trying to tell its audience, you know, and teach people. This is one of the best movies of all time. It's one of the best movies of all time. It's definitely in my top 10. But with that, we have officially gone through all of this. I just want to show you guys one more thing over here. We have, I know I've shown all this off before, but I just wanted to like show it to be a part of the video, just because this is like all encompassing. But right here, you know, I mean, randomly Detective Pikachu's here. You know, that's kind of random. But we got, you know, Fire Emblem 1, the amiibo right here. You know, Byleth, Crom, Robin, and Marth. And then we got the cards. I kept the packaging and the cards just because I'm an idiot, but I also kept this thing. It's like a little mural thingy there, a couple little knickknacks. The VHS of Fire Emblem's pretty rad. The Switch games right here. I do have a sealed Fire Emblem Warriors back here, but Fire Emblem Warriors on Switch is there, and then N-Gage, and then Tokyo Mirage, the Three Houses games, and then 3DS. I mean, you know, I mean, this is it right here. Like, this is my favorite franchise of all time, you know, like, they're just always good. And then down here, you know, like, I've shown these off before in other videos, you know, the GBA games there. I got those cases from, like, Etsy or something, and then, you know, the art books there. And then there's my One Piece volumes right there as well. Might as well show those off, you know, books and all. I have a lot of Wano. Not really much else. I have, like, sparse random ones. And that's like some, you know, Jurassic Park right there, and that's some, you know, random Game Informers, and then the Game Informer. It's the best one. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything in my collection. I mean, consoles over there, you know, and, you know, my GBA and 3DS or my 2DS XL and, you know, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw this video together, you know, just kind of talk about everything in my collection so I can look back on this and be like, oh, I remember all of those, you know, I had that and this, and, you know, just thought it'd be a lot of fun, thought I'd get dressed up for the occasion. But yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I feel like this was fun, and we should do it again sometime. But I guess with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
You gonna talk about your glasses?
Oh yeah, so I got the glasses because they look like Ren's glasses from Persona 5. I forgot to mention that. I was specifically going for like, it inspired the selection, because I was like, oh wait, I want like round with like black rims, and I ended up going for these because they kind of look like Joker's glasses. So yeah, thanks for reminding me, Gabe. I forgot about that.